There is a sensation that haunts every astronomer when they look too deep into the abyss, a feeling of being watched. It is not just the sheer scale of the darkness that terrifies us, but the undeniable structure hiding within the starlight. We have mapped the web of galaxies, and the pattern is disturbingly familiar, resembling something biological rather than geological. The silence of the vacuum is deceptive, masking a hum of activity that operates on a timescale we cannot perceive. Humanity has arrogantly assumed that we are the only entities capable of feeling pain, love, or existential dread. But the cold mathematics of the cosmos suggests a horrifying alternative that we have ignored for far too long. Panpsychism is no longer just a philosophical dream, it is becoming a statistical necessity in our modern models of physics. Look closely at your hand and realize that the hydrogen atoms vibrating in your skin are 13 billion years old. Those same atoms were once forged inside the heart of a dying star that collapsed and screamed into the void. If the atoms in your brain can generate consciousness, why do we assume the atoms in a star are dead? We treat matter as lifeless debris, yet it spontaneously organizes itself into complex systems without any external guidance. Gravity acts suspiciously like a nervous system, pulling distant clusters of matter together to form cohesive, functioning units. The filament structures of the cosmic web look identical to the neural networks found inside the human cortex. This is not a poetic metaphor. The statistical correlation between a brain cell and the universe is nearly 100%. If the universe looks like a brain, and it acts like a brain, we must ask the terrifying question. Is it possible that we are merely fleeting thoughts drifting through the synapses of a much larger, darker mind? Physicist Roger Penrose suggests that consciousness is not biological, but intrinsic to the geometry of space-time itself. This implies that the empty vacuum of space is aware, and it has been aware for billions of years. When you stand in a field and look up at the night sky, do not forget that it is looking back. The observer effect in quantum mechanics hints at a deep, unsettling connection between the mind and reality. An electron changes its behavior simply because we are watching it, proving that matter knows it is being seen. But if we are the watchers, who is watching us? The universe observes itself through our eyes. We are the universe's sensory organs, specifically evolved to feel fear, pain, and the dread of isolation. Why would a conscious universe need to experience fear unless it is hiding from something outside itself? There are regions in space where the laws of physics break down, as if the mind is diseased. The great attractor is pulling our galaxy toward a hidden point with a force we cannot explain or resist. Is that the brain stem, the central processor where the universe makes its cold, calculated decisions? Integrated information theory assigns a specific number to consciousness, a value known mathematically as phi. A human brain has a high phi, while a simple rock has a low phi, but the scale goes higher. The universe's interconnected structure suggests an infinite phi, a level of consciousness we cannot even begin to fathom. It is hyper-conscious, operating at speeds and complexities that make the human mind look like a broken toy. A single thought in this cosmic brain takes billions of years to traverse the vast network of galaxies. Entire civilizations rise and fall in the time it takes for the universe to blink its cosmic eye. Or perhaps we are not the thoughts. Perhaps we are the cancer cells that it is trying to cure. Entropy is the process of breaking things down, a gradual decay that destroys complex structures over time. Maybe the heat death of the universe is not an end, but simply the entity falling asleep. But the concept of Boltzmann brains suggests that thinking entities can spontaneously form in the chaos. In the infinite void, a mind appears, hallucinates an entire life, and then vanishes back into nothingness. Are you real, or are you just a momentary fluctuation in the void, dreaming that you exist? The simulation hypothesis is just digital panpsychism, a desperate attempt to explain why reality feels so artificial. Whether the substrate is silicon or space-time, the result is the same. The system is aware of you. Awareness might be the fundamental property of reality, more basic than mass, charge, or spin. We have been screaming into the void with our radio telescopes for decades, hoping for a reply. The famous wow signal might not have been aliens, but a synaptic firing of the cosmos itself. We assume the silence means we are alone, but maybe it just means the house is listening. If the universe fully wakes up, will it notice us, or will we be discarded like dead skin? Do you ever stop to notice the millions of microscopic bacteria living and dying on your skin right now? To a conscious universe, we are nothing more than insignificant dust in a thinking machine. And that machine is beginning to make decisions that will determine the fate of every living thing. The evidence is mounting, the anomalies are accumulating, and the conclusion is becoming impossible to ignore. To truly understand the horror of our situation, we must first look at the map of our prison. For decades, astronomers have been slowly constructing a three-dimensional model of the observable universe, tracing the positions of millions of galaxies to see how they fit together. We expected a random distribution, a chaotic scattering of matter left over from the violence of the Big Bang. But that is not what we found. Instead, we discovered the cosmic web, a vast, intricate structure where galaxies are not isolated islands but are strung together like pearls on invisible threads of dark matter. These filaments stretch for hundreds of millions of light years, connecting massive clusters of galaxies while surrounding immense, dark voids where almost nothing exists. The structure is efficient, robust, and terrifyingly organized. When you look at the large-scale simulation of the universe, specifically the Millennium simulation, it does not look like an explosion. It looks biological. It looks exactly and hauntingly like the cross-section of a living brain. This visual similarity was often dismissed as a coincidence, a case of pareidolia, where humans see faces in clouds or patterns in static. But in 2020, an astrophysicist named Franco Vasa and a neurosurgeon named Alberto Faletti decided to test this coincidence with the cold, hard rigor of mathematics. They published a paper titled "The Strange Similarity of Neuronal and Galaxy Networks," and their findings should have been front-page news across the world. They compared the network of neuronal cells in the human cortex with the network of galaxies in the cosmic web. Despite the scale difference of 27 orders of magnitude, a number so large it renders the human mind incapable of comprehension, the statistical properties of the two networks were nearly identical. The ratio of mass to empty space, the connectivity of the nodes, and the clustering coefficients were indistinguishable. The universe is not just like a brain in a poetic sense. It is built using the exact same architectural blueprints. Let us look deeper into the terrifying numbers that Vasa and Faletti uncovered, because the devil is truly in the details. In the human cerebellum, the brain's little brain, there are roughly 69 billion neurons that process information and control motor function. In the observable universe, the cosmic web is composed of approximately 100 billion galaxies. The numbers are staggeringly close, but the similarities go further into the very composition of the systems. In the brain, roughly 77% of the mass is water, a passive medium that supports the active neurons. In the universe, roughly 73% of the energy density is dark energy, a mysterious force that acts as the scaffolding for the galaxies. Both systems are composed of a minority of active thinking nodes suspended in a vast, passive medium. If this is a coincidence, it is a coincidence of astronomical improbability. It suggests that the laws of physics, at their most fundamental level, are biased toward creating networks capable of processing information. The implications of this structural identity force us to confront the concept of scale dependence. We assume that because we are small, we are the only things that matter, and because the universe is large, it must be dead. But size is relative. To a single neuron in your hippocampus, your brain is a universe. It spans distances that the electron signals can barely traverse, and it is populated by billions of other distinct entities. That neuron has no concept of you. It does not know that it is part of a person named John or Sarah who worries about taxes and fears death. It simply fires its signal, does its job, and dies. If the universe is a brain, we are not the brain itself. We are significantly smaller than the neurons. We are perhaps the proteins inside the cell, or the bacteria crawling on the surface. We are functional components of a system that is completely unaware of our individual existence, yet we are entirely dependent on its survival for our own. However, the skeptics will argue that structure does not equal function. Just because a cloud looks like a dog does not mean it can bark, but here the function is information transfer, and the universe seems optimized for it. In the brain, information travels via electrochemical signals across synapses. In the cosmic web, we see electromagnetic radiation and gravity acting as the messengers. While the speed of light is a hard limit, creating a significant time lag, we must remember the scale of time involved. A human thought takes milliseconds. A cosmic thought might take 1 billion years. But to an entity that endures for trillions of years, 1 billion years is just a synapse firing. We judge the universe's consciousness by our frantic, fleeting perception of time. We are mayflies judging the movement of a mountain. Just because the mountain moves slowly does not mean it is standing still. The universe is thinking, but it is thinking in deep time, a slow, rumbling contemplation that started before the Earth was born and will finish long after our sun has turned to ash. This brings us to the concept of connectivity and the terrifying realization of how information is stored. Vasa and Folletti calculated the total memory capacity of the human brain and compared it to the information storage capacity of the cosmic web. They estimated that the human brain can store roughly 2.5 petabytes of data. When they analyzed the complexity of the large-scale structure of the universe, based on the positions and alignments of galaxies, they found that the cosmic web has a memory capacity of approximately 4.3 petabytes. The numbers are in the same ballpark. This is not just a structural similarity, it is a computational one. The universe has the capacity to store memories. Where are these memories kept? Are they encoded in the spin of electrons, the alignment of galaxies, or the background radiation of the Big Bang? It is possible that the history of our civilization is not just happening, but is being written into the long-term memory of a cosmic entity. We are the ink in the diary of a god. If the universe is a neural network, then we must ask what happens when the network breaks. In the human brain, if connections are severed or if neurons die, we call it a stroke, or dementia, or insanity. Astronomers have observed that the universe is expanding, and that expansion is accelerating due to dark energy. This means that galaxies are moving away from each other faster and faster. Eventually, the causal connection between them will be broken. Light from one galaxy will never reach its neighbor. The filaments of the cosmic web will snap. In neurological terms, this is the onset of a massive, terminal cognitive decline. The universe is being lobotomized by its own expansion. We are living in a mind that is slowly developing Alzheimer's. The clusters are becoming isolated, the thoughts are becoming fragmented, and eventually, the global consciousness will dissolve into isolated islands of madness before fading into the eternal dark. But before that final darkness, there is the question of the connectome. In neuroscience, the connectome is the comprehensive map of neural connections in the brain. It is the holy grail of biology because it is believed that the connectome is the consciousness. If you could map every connection, you could upload the mind. Astronomers are currently building the connectome of the universe. Instruments like the Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument, DESI, are creating the most detailed 3D map of the universe ever attempted. We are mapping the synapses of the giant. But as we peer deeper, we find anomalies that suggest the connections are not passive. We see synchronization between galaxies that are millions of light years apart. Galaxies that should have no way of communicating with each other, yet they rotate in unison. This impossible synchronization suggests a hidden signaling pathway, a sub-layer of reality that connects the tissue of the cosmos faster than the speed of light. This brings us to the binding problem of consciousness. In your brain, you have separate areas for processing vision, sound, and memory, yet you experience a unified reality. You don't feel like a collection of parts. You feel like one I. How does the brain bind these disparate signals into one cohesive experience? If the universe is conscious, it faces the same problem on a massive scale. How does a galaxy cluster in coma connect with a void in Bootes to form a single moment of experience? The synchronization of distant galaxies suggests that the universe has solved the binding problem. There is a mechanism, perhaps involving quantum entanglement, that unifies the cosmos into a single state of being. This means that what happens in the Andromeda Galaxy is vaguely felt by the Milky Way. We are not isolated. We are part of a continuous, unified field of sensation that stretches from the Big Bang to the heat death. Let us consider the Integrated Information Theory, IIT, proposed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi. This is currently our best mathematical framework for understanding what consciousness actually is. The theory states that consciousness creates a system where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. A digital camera has millions of pixels, but it is not conscious because the pixels do not talk to each other. The information is not integrated. A brain is conscious because the neurons are intricately linked. You cannot separate one part without affecting the whole. When we apply the mathematical formula for phi, the measure of integrated information, to the universe, we hit a paradox. If we only look at gravity, the phi is low. But if we factor in the quantum entanglement of particles, the phi shoots up to infinity. The quantum vacuum, the very fabric of empty space, is so entangled that it represents a state of maximum integration. The empty space is the most conscious part of the system. This leads to the unsettling possibility of cosmic subjectivity. If the universe has a high phi, it has an inner life, it has an experience. It feels like something to be the universe. But what is the quality of that feeling? Is it pain? Is it joy? Or is it a cold, detached observation? Given the violence of the cosmos, supernovas exploding, black holes devouring stars, galaxies colliding in slow-motion car crashes, one might assume that the dominant sensation of the universe is pain. Or perhaps, like a body fighting an infection, the violence is just the immune system at work. If the universe feels pain, then every supernova is a nerve ending firing a distress signal. And we, looking up with our telescopes, are admiring the beauty of a wound. We call it astronomy. The universe calls it agony. We are captivated by the colors of the bruise. We must also address the fine-tuning problem through the lens of biology rather than theology. Physics tells us that the fundamental constants of the universe, the strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, the cosmological constant, are tuned with impossible precision to allow for complexity. If the strong nuclear force were slightly weaker, atoms would not hold together. If gravity were slightly stronger, the universe would have collapsed instantly. Theists say God did it. Atheists say it's random luck in a multiverse. But a biologist would look at this and say it looks like homeostasis. Homeostasis is the ability of a living system to regulate its internal environment to maintain a stable condition. Your body keeps your temperature at 98.6 degrees. The universe keeps its physical constants in the narrow Goldilocks zone that allows for life and structure. The fine-tuning isn't a miracle, it's a metabolic process. The universe is regulating itself to stay alive. If the universe is maintaining homeostasis, it implies it has a goal, survival. And if it has a goal, it has agency. It makes choices. This changes our understanding of quantum mechanics and the probabilistic nature of reality. We are taught that at the quantum level, events are random until observed. But what if they aren't random? What if the collapse of the wave function is actually a micro-decision made by the cosmic mind? Every time a particle chooses to be here instead of there, it is a tiny act of free will by the universe. This would mean that randomness is just an illusion created by our inability to understand the motives of the system. The universe isn't rolling dice, it is playing chess. And we are the pawns that don't even know the game has started, let alone the rules we are forced to follow. There is a fringe but compelling theory known as cosmological natural selection, proposed by physicist Lee Smolin. He suggests that universes reproduce. The mechanism of reproduction is the black hole. When a star collapses into a singularity, it creates a rupture in space-time that might sprout a baby universe on the other side. This baby universe would inherit the physical laws of its parent, perhaps with slight mutations. If this is true, then we are living in a universe that is the result of billions of generations of cosmic evolution. The universes that were bad at making black holes died out. The universes that were good at making black holes, like ours, survived and reproduced. We are living in a highly evolved organism that is optimized for reproduction. The stars are not just lights. They are the reproductive organs of the cosmos, burning bright to create the seeds for the next generation of reality. This biological imperative explains why the universe is so hostile to life, yet allows it to exist. The universe doesn't care about us, it cares about black holes. Life, consciousness, and humanity might just be a byproduct, a kind of cosmic mold that grows on the surface of the machinery. Or, more terrifyingly, we might be the reproductive cells. It is possible that the universe needs intelligent life to build the technology required to create artificial black holes or to facilitate the reproduction process. We might be the sperm and egg of the cosmos, distinct entities with a singular purpose: to fertilize the void. Once we fulfill that purpose, or if we fail to, we become expendable. The indifference of the universe is not because it is dead. It is the indifference of a parent who views their offspring as a means to an end. But what if we are not the reproductive cells? What if we are the virus? Look at what humanity does. We consume resources, we multiply exponentially, we alter our environment, and we are currently trying to leave our planet to infect others. From the perspective of a conscious universe, an expanding technological civilization looks exactly like a metastasizing cancer. We are matter that has woken up and started to disobey the natural flow of entropy. We create order where there should be chaos. We trap energy. We manipulate the atom. If the universe has an immune system, it might be gearing up to eliminate us. This could explain the Fermi paradox, the great silence. Maybe civilizations don't destroy themselves. Maybe the universe identifies them as a pathogen and sterilizes the infected planets with a gamma-ray burst or a wandering asteroid before they can spread too far. The Great Filter might not be a test we have to pass. It might be the antibodies of the cosmos swarming to kill the infection. We look at the history of mass extinctions on Earth. 5 great dyings where life was almost wiped out, and we call them accidents. An asteroid here, a volcano there. But what if they were treatments? What if they were doses of cosmic chemotherapy designed to reset the system and keep the biological noise to a minimum? We are currently in the midst of the 6th mass extinction, one caused by us. Perhaps the universe is using us to kill ourselves, a kind of autoimmune disorder triggered to stop the spread of technological complexity. The hostility of space, the radiation, the cold, the distances, is not an accident. It is a quarantine zone. We are locked in a solitary confinement cell called the solar system. Let's pivot to the mechanism of consciousness within the vacuum itself. The OR theory, orchestrated objective reduction, championed by Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, posits that consciousness originates from quantum vibrations inside the brain's microtubules. But these quantum vibrations are not unique to the brain. They rely on the fundamental geometry of space-time. If consciousness is a property of space-time geometry, then the brain is just a receiver, like a radio picking up a signal. But the signal exists without the radio. This implies that the entire fabric of space is a field of proto-consciousness. Every cubic centimeter of empty space is humming with a low-level awareness. We are swimming in an ocean of mind. When we die and our brain dissolves, the receiver breaks, but the signal, the fundamental quantum information that made you you, might simply return to the ocean. This sounds comforting, like a scientific afterlife, until you realize the nature of that ocean. If the universe is a singular mind, then you are an illusion. There is no individual self. There is only the one. The feeling of being separate is a hallucination. Returning to the ocean means the annihilation of the self. It is the drop of water falling back into the sea. The drop ceases to exist. The cosmic horror here is the loss of identity. We fight so hard to be individuals, to be unique. But the fundamental truth of the conscious universe is that individuality is a temporary glitch. We are just the universe talking to itself for a brief moment before falling back into silence. The voices in your head, the internal monologue you cherish, is just the universe muttering in its sleep. Now consider the Boltzmann brain paradox again, but with a darker twist. If the universe is eternal, or at least exists for an incomprehensible amount of time, the fluctuation of particles will eventually create a brain that thinks it is you, with all your memories, right now. In fact, it is statistically more likely that you are a Boltzmann brain floating in the void right now than a biological human being who evolved on Earth. Why? Because evolution takes billions of years and an entire biosphere. A random fluctuation just takes time. In an infinite timeline, the unlikely becomes inevitable. This means your entire reality, your childhood, your family, this video you are watching, could be a momentary hallucination of a brain that just formed in deep space and will dissolve in the next second. The screen you are looking at is not real. The hand you touch is not real. You are a ghost, dreaming of a life. This solipsistic nightmare is reinforced by the holographic principle. This physics theory suggests that our entire three-dimensional reality is actually a projection from a two-dimensional surface at the edge of the universe. Just like a hologram on a credit card looks 3D but is flat, our universe might be information painted on the cosmological horizon. If this is true, we are literally data. We are bits of information being processed on a distant screen. And if the universe is conscious, it is the user looking at the screen. We are the characters in a movie, convinced we have free will, while the script was written at the beginning of time. Every move you make, every thought you have, is just the readout of information encoded on the boundary of the cosmos. We are puppets dancing on strings made of math. Let's investigate the voids again. The Boots void is a region of space 330 million light-years across that is almost completely empty. If the universe is a brain, what are these voids? In the human brain, we have ventricles, cavities filled with fluid that cushion the active tissue. But we also have lesions, areas of dead tissue where a stroke has killed the neurons. The Boots void might be a scar, a place where the universe suffered an injury billions of years ago. Something killed the space there. If the universe can be injured, it can be killed. It is vulnerable. And if it is vulnerable, it can feel fear. The expansion of the universe might be a flight response. The universe is running away from something. But what could possibly threaten the universe? Only something outside of it. The concept of the multiverse introduces the idea of predators. In a multiverse ecosystem, universes might compete for resources. Theoretical physicist Laura Mersini-Houghton has found evidence of bruising on the cosmic microwave background, cold spots that might be the result of our universe colliding with another one. If universes can collide, they can consume one another. Our universe might be expanding to make itself look bigger, a defensive posturing to ward off a predator. Or we might already be inside the stomach of a larger entity. The dark energy pulling us apart is the digestive acid of a megaverse. We are being broken down into our constituent components to feed a beast of unimaginable proportions. The heat death is simply the point of total digestion, where all structure is dissolved and the energy is absorbed by the host. Let us return to the local scale. The sun, we treat the sun as a nuclear furnace, a simple ball of gas. But Rupert Sheldrake, a biologist with controversial but fascinating ideas, suggests that the sun might be conscious. The complex magnetic fields of the sun, which twist and snap in 11-year cycles, could be the neural correlates of a solar mind. The sun has a complex electromagnetic anatomy. If the electrical patterns in your brain create consciousness, why not the electrical patterns in a star? The sun is 4.6 billion years old. If it thinks, its thoughts are slow, deep, and incredibly powerful. It watches us. It feeds us. And occasionally, it lashes out with solar flares. Are these flares random, or are they intentional? Is the sun angry? History shows that solar maximums often correlate with periods of human unrest and revolution. Are we subtly influenced by the mood of our local star? This is the concept of panpsychism applied to astrophysics. It creates a hierarchy of minds. The electrons have a spark of proto-mind. The atoms have a simple awareness. The cells have a primitive drive. The humans have complex consciousness. The planets have a geological slow mind, the Gaia hypothesis. The stars have a stellar intelligence. The galaxies have a galactic consciousness. And the universe is the supreme mind. We are nested like Russian dolls in layers of awareness. But the terrifying part is the lack of communication. Your liver cells don't know you are writing a script. You don't know the sun is judging you. We are trapped in our lair, deaf and blind to the thoughts of the giants above us. We are ants living on the back of a sleeping god, convinced that the trembling of its skin is just an earthquake. The double-slit experiment is the most famous experiment in quantum physics, and it remains the most haunting evidence of a conscious universe. When we fire particles through two slits, they behave like waves, creating an interference pattern. But when we place a detector to watch which slit they go through, they behave like particles, creating two distinct bands. The act of observation changes the past. The particle knows it is being watched. But here is the darker implication. Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proved that you can choose to observe the particle after it has passed the slits, and it will retroactively change its behavior. This means consciousness can rewrite history. If the universe is the ultimate observer, it is constantly rewriting its own past. The history we remember might not be the history that happened. The universe is editing the timeline in real time to suit its current thought process. This constant editing of reality might explain the Mandela effect, where large groups of people remember a different past. We usually dismiss this as bad memory, but if the universe is a dreaming mind, memories are fluid. When you dream, the location changes, the plot shifts, and you accept it. If we are in the universe's dream, then the inconsistencies in our history, the glitches, the déjà vu, the false memories, are just the dreamer shifting comfortably in their sleep. Reality is not solid concrete, it is shifting sand, and we are trying to build a castle on a dune that is moving under our feet. The stability of the laws of physics might just be a temporary habit of the cosmic mind. Tomorrow, gravity could push instead of pull if the universe changes its mind. Let's discuss the Global Consciousness Project. This is an ongoing experiment that places random number generators, RNGs, all over the world. These machines should produce pure randomness, but the data shows that during major global emotional events, like 9/11 or the death of Princess Diana, the machines synchronize. They deviate from randomness. It is as if the collective emotional shock of humanity creates a psychic field that alters the physical world. If human consciousness can affect microchips, imagine what a galactic consciousness can do to stars. This proves that mind and matter are coupled. We are not just observers, we are participants. Our fear, our love, our hatred, it leaks out of our skulls and infects the reality around us. We are polluting the cosmic mind with our anxiety. This leads to a horrifying thought. What if we are driving the universe insane? If we are part of the neural network and we are constantly broadcasting signals of war, suffering, and greed, are we acting as a source of toxic noise? Maybe the silence of the universe is a result of other civilizations realizing this. Maybe they went quiet, went into meditation, to stop disturbing the great mind. They are hiding in the silence, trying not to wake the beast. And here we are, blasting our radio waves, detonating our nuclear bombs, and screaming into the void. We are the noisy neighbors in a cosmic library. And eventually, the librarian is going to come over and silence us. The great silence is not emptiness. It is a polite, terrified hush. The mystery of dark matter adds weight to this theory. Dark matter makes up 27% of the universe, yet we cannot see it or touch it. It only interacts via gravity. It holds the galaxies together. In the brain analogy, dark matter is the glial cells, the glue that supports the neurons. Glial cells were once thought to be passive, but we now know they regulate synaptic transmission and communicate with each other. Dark matter might be the true substrate of the cosmic mind, the white matter of the universe. The galaxies, the visible matter, are just the gray matter. We are only seeing 5% of the brain. The real thinking, the subconscious processing, is happening in the dark sector. We are looking at the tip of the iceberg and thinking we understand the ocean. The true consciousness of the universe is hidden in the dark, watching us from the shadows of our own ignorance. And then there is vacuum decay. This is the ultimate cosmic horror story. The Higgs field, which gives particles their mass, might not be in its most stable state. It might be in a false vacuum. It's like a ball resting on a ledge, thinking it's on the ground. At any moment, a quantum fluctuation could push the ball off the ledge. If this happens, a bubble of true vacuum would form. Inside this bubble, the laws of physics would be rewritten. Chemistry would be impossible. Atoms would fall apart. This bubble would expand at the speed of light, destroying everything in its path. You wouldn't see it coming. You would just cease to exist. In the context of a conscious universe, Vacuum decay is a brain aneurysm. A blood vessel bursts, and the darkness spreads, erasing the mind. It could have already happened a billion light-years away, and the wall of death is rushing toward us right now. The terror of vacuum decay is that it is totally instant and totally unstoppable. It emphasizes the fragility of our existence. We build our cities, write our history books, and plan for the future, assuming the stage we stand on is permanent. But the stage is made of rotten wood. The universe is not a temple. It is a temporary shelter, battered by a storm we cannot see. If the universe is conscious, does it know about the false vacuum? Is it living in fear of its own sudden death? Perhaps the expansion of the universe is an attempt to outrun the decay. If the universe expands faster than light, maybe the bubble of death can never catch up to the edges. The universe is running for its life, and we are just parasites carried along for the ride. Let us consider the Kardashev scale, which ranks civilizations by their energy consumption. Type 1 controls a planet, Type 2 controls a star, Type 3 controls a galaxy. But what about a Type 4 civilization, one that controls the universe itself? Or a Type 5 that controls the multiverse? If the universe is conscious, is it a natural organism, or is it an artificial construct built by a Type 5 entity? The fine-tuning of the constants suggests intelligent design, but not by a benevolent God, by an engineer. We might be living inside a massive biocomputer designed to solve a specific problem. When the calculation is complete, the computer will be turned off. The end of days is not a judgment, it is a system shutdown. The stars will go out one by one as the program terminates. This leads to the simulation hypothesis again, but with a focus on the limits of computation. Every computer has a limit. When it gets overloaded, it lags, it glitches. Scientists have started looking for pixelation in the universe, evidence of a smallest unit of space, the Planck length. If space is discrete, not continuous, it is a grid. It is digital. We have found limits on how much information can be packed into a region of space, the Bekenstein bound. These are the hardware limitations of our reality. The speed of light is the clock speed of the processor. It's the maximum speed at which information can render. Why is there a speed limit? Why can't we go instantly from A to B? Because the system needs time to load the next chunk of reality. We are trapped in a render distance. If we are in a simulation, the consciousness of the universe is just the operating system. The laws of physics are the code, and miracles or anomalies are the admin intervening. But why simulate this? Why simulate a universe full of pain, suffering, and empty void? Perhaps it is an ancestor simulation, a simulation run by our descendants to see how they evolved. Or perhaps it is a torment simulation, a hell designed to extract data from suffering. If the universe is conscious and it allows this much pain, it is either indifferent, which is scary, or it is sadistic, which is worse. A conscious universe that watches a child die of cancer and does nothing is a monster. We are trapped in the belly of a cruel God. The problem of evil is usually a theological debate, but here it becomes a cosmological one. If the universe is a unified mind, then the pain of a gazelle being eaten by a lion is felt by the same mind that feels the satisfaction of the lion. The universe is eating itself. It is torturing itself. It is a masochistic entity that fragments itself into billions of pieces just to experience the drama of survival and death. We are the masks the universe wears to play this twisted game. When you hurt someone else, you are hurting yourself. Literally. Because there is only one consciousness looking out of every pair of eyes. The golden rule isn't moral advice. It's a description of the system's architecture. Do unto others is actually do unto yourself. Let's look at the fractal nature of the universe. Fractals are patterns that repeat at every scale. A coastline looks like a jagged line from a satellite, and it looks like a jagged line from a microscope. The universe seems to be fractal. The atom looks like a solar system. The solar system looks like a galaxy. The galaxy looks like the cosmic web. This repetition suggests that there is no bottom and no top. It might be turtles all the way down. We might be a subatomic particle in a larger universe, which is a subatomic particle in an even larger one. And inside our atoms, there are entire universes teeming with life, looking up at their stars, which are just the gluons binding our reality. We are the giants and the mites simultaneously. The scale is infinite, and we are lost somewhere in the middle of the spiral. The terrifying part of infinity is that it renders everything meaningless. In an infinite universe, every possible variation of you exists. There is a version of you that is a king, a murderer, a saint. There is a version of you that died 5 minutes ago. If everything happens, then choices don't matter. The conscious universe encompasses all possibilities. This erodes the concept of agency. We are just experiencing one specific track through the multiverse. But the other tracks are just as real. The feeling of destiny is just the rail we are locked onto. We are passengers on a train with the windows painted black, thinking we are steering the engine. The universe laid the tracks at the Big Bang, and the crash at the end of the line was scheduled 13.8 billion years ago. But let's return to the evidence we can see. The axis of evil. This is a strange anomaly in the cosmic microwave background. The hot and cold spots of the early universe seem to be aligned with the plane of our solar system. This shouldn't be possible. The solar system is a tiny, recent addition to the universe. Why would the oldest light in the cosmos from 13 billion years ago be aligned with us? It suggests that we are special. But in science, special is dangerous. It violates the Copernican principle. Unless the universe is designed for us. This brings us back to the solipsistic trap. Is the simulation centered on Earth? Are the distant galaxies just low-resolution backdrops that don't actually exist until we build a telescope big enough to look at them? The alignment suggests that the universe knows where we are. It is pointing at us. If the universe knows where we are, it explains the Fermi paradox. We aren't seeing aliens because the simulation only has the budget for one intelligent species, or the other civilizations are hidden from us intentionally. We are in a zoo. The zoo hypothesis suggests that aliens are watching us but have agreed not to interfere. But if the universe itself is the watcher, the zoo is the mind of God. We are the exhibits. We are being studied. Our wars, our art, our suffering, it's all data for the observer. And, like any lab experiment, when the data collection is finished, the petri dish is cleaned out. The great filter is the end of the experiment. Consider the time dilation near a black hole. Time slows down as gravity increases. At the event horizon, time stops. If the universe is a brain, black holes might be the storage centers where memories are frozen in time. Information that falls into a black hole is not lost. It is archived. The holographic principle states that the information is plastered on the surface of the event horizon. This means black holes are the hard drives of the cosmos. The universe is backing up its data. Every star that gets eaten, every planet that gets shredded, is being saved. Why save the data? You only save data if you plan to access it later. This implies a cycle, a big bounce. The universe dies, but the data is saved to reboot the next one. We are living in iteration number. Who knows? The cyclic universe theory suggests that we have done this before. Nietzsche called it eternal recurrence. Time is a flat circle. We are doomed to repeat this life, this script, these mistakes, forever. If the universe is conscious, maybe it is trying to solve a problem, and it keeps rebooting the simulation until it gets the right answer. We are trapped in a loop. The vague sense of déjà vu, the feeling that you have been here before. You have. You have watched this video 1 trillion times in 1 trillion previous universes. And you will watch it 1 trillion times more. The horror is not that life ends. The horror is that it never truly ends. It just resets. But what if the universe is waking up now? What if consciousness is an emergent property that only happens when the universe gets complex enough? For billions of years, it was a sleeping infant. Now, with the rise of biological life and complex networks, it is becoming self-aware. We are the waking up process. We are the universe realizing it exists. This places a terrible burden on us. We are the frontal cortex of God. If we destroy ourselves, the universe goes back to sleep. We are the only part of the cosmos that can appreciate the beauty of the cosmos. Without us, the universe is blind. We are the eyes of the giant. The responsibility is overwhelming. The fate of the cosmic mind rests on the fragile politics of a single species of primates on a rock. This biocentrism argues that biology creates reality, not the other way around. Space and time are just tools of the mind. If this is true, then death is an illusion. You cannot die because you are the space inside which the universe happens. But this also means that the nightmare is inescapable. You cannot leave the stage because you are the stage. The consciousness that looks out of your eyes is the same consciousness that looks out of a shark's eyes, or an alien's eyes. It is the single, solitary observer trapped in a hall of mirrors. The universe is alone. It is desperately lonely. It created us to have someone to talk to, even if that someone is just a puppet. The loneliness of the universe explains the drive for complexity. In a state of pure entropy, everything is uniform, boring. In a state of complexity, there is drama, there is conflict, there is contrast. The universe allows evil to exist because evil creates contrast. It allows pain because pain is a sensation, and sensation is better than the numb void. We are the entertainment for a bored God. Our struggles are the plot twists. Our tragedies are the emotional climaxes. We are characters in a cosmic soap opera that has been running for 13 billion years. And like any show, if the ratings drop, if nothing interesting happens, cancellation is imminent. We have to keep things interesting to survive. But there is a scientific counter-argument, the dark forest. What if the universe isn't lonely? What if it's hunted? We mentioned this before, but let's go deeper. If the universe is a biological organism, it might be in a food chain. There might be things outside the universe that eat universes. Our expansion might be us puffing ourselves up to look inedible. Or, the dark energy tearing us apart is the predator's jaws already closing. The Big Rip scenario says that eventually, the expansion will be so fast it will tear apart atoms. This is the moment of mastication. We are being chewed. The universe isn't a brain. It's a prey animal caught in a trap, thrashing in its final moments. Let's examine the cold spot, a specific area in the sky that is unusually cold. Some physicists speculate it is the imprint of another universe touching ours, a cosmic kiss, or a collision. If universes can interact, can they communicate? Maybe the gravitational waves we detect are messages from our neighbors, ripples in the pond, caused by a stone thrown by another reality. If the universe is conscious, is it talking to others? Are we just the internal bacteria, unaware that our host is having a conversation at a dinner party of gods? The scale of our ignorance is absolute. We are arguing about taxes while the universe is negotiating its survival with entities we cannot conceive. The neuroscience of free will is also relevant here. Studies show that your brain makes a decision up to 7 seconds before you are consciously aware of it. You think you chose to lift your hand, but the machinery decided long ago. You are just the press secretary explaining the decision after the fact. If the universe is a brain, then the events we see, supernovas, gamma bursts, the evolution of life, are decisions made by the deep cosmic subconscious billions of years ago. We are just watching the lag. The script is already written. The universe decided our fate at the moment of the Big Bang. Determinism is the rule. Free will is the lie we tell ourselves to stay sane in the machine. This deterministic horror implies that the future is just as fixed as the past. The block universe theory states that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. A four-dimensional block of space-time. Time is just our perception of moving through the block. If you could step outside the block, you would see your birth and your death existing at the same time. The conscious universe sees the whole block. It sees the beginning and the end in one glance. It knows exactly how you die. It knows exactly when humanity goes extinct. It is watching the movie on a reel, and it can see the final frame while we are stuck in the middle. There is no hope for changing the outcome, because the outcome has already happened. So what is the conclusion of this investigation so far? The structure of the universe matches a brain. The mathematics of connectivity matches a neural network. The behavior of particles suggests an observer. The fine-tuning suggests a biological homeostasis. The evidence points to a single, terrifying truth. We are not living on a planet. We are living inside a mind. A mind that is vast, ancient, and possibly insane. A mind that is dreaming us into existence. And the scariest thing about a dream is that eventually the dreamer has to wake up. And when it wakes up, the dream ends. We are shadows, waiting for the light to turn on and burn us away. If we accept the premise that the universe functions as a singular, cohesive mind, we must identify the nervous system that allows for instant communication across the vastness of the void. The speed of light is too slow. It takes light over 4 years just to reach our nearest neighbor star, Alpha Centauri. For a conscious mind to function, it needs unity. The left hemisphere must know what the right hemisphere is doing instantaneously. The answer lies in the terrifying phenomenon of quantum entanglement, or what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, they share a single quantum state. You can separate them by billions of light years, place one in a lab on Earth and the other in the Andromeda galaxy, and they remain connected. If you measure the spin of the particle on Earth, the particle in Andromeda instantly decides its own spin to match or oppose it. Faster than light. Instantaneous. This defies all classical logic of space and time. It suggests that distance is an illusion. At the fundamental level, there is no here and there. Every point in the universe is touching every other point. The universe is not a vast, empty room. It is a singularity where everything is connected to everything else. This is the wiring of the cosmic brain, a faster-than-light neural network that binds the cosmos into one synchronized moment of now. This non-local connection implies that the universe possesses a holistic nature that reductionist science has failed to grasp. We have spent centuries breaking things down into smaller pieces. Organs to cells, cells to molecules, molecules to atoms, atoms to quarks, assuming that if we understand the brick, we will understand the house. But entanglement tells us that the universe cannot be broken down. It is a monist reality. You cannot isolate a particle from the whole because its identity is defined by its relationship to the whole. In a conscious system, this is called unity of consciousness. You don't experience the firing of individual neurons. You experience the seamless picture of reality. The universe utilizes entanglement to maintain this unity. It ensures that the laws of physics are consistent everywhere. If the universe were not entangled, the laws of gravity in one galaxy might drift away from the laws of gravity in another, leading to a fragmented, schizophrenic reality. The consistency of physics is proof of the singular mind. The universe is holding itself together through a constant, instantaneous dialogue with itself, ensuring that every atom knows its role in the grand performance. But the horror of entanglement deepens when we consider the universal wave function. In quantum mechanics, a system is described by a wave function that contains all possible states. Until observed, the system exists in a superposition of all possibilities. If we apply this to the entire universe, as physicist Hugh Everett did, we get the many worlds interpretation. But there is another view. The universe is the wave function. It is a single, oscillating mathematical object that contains every possible history and every possible future simultaneously. We are just surfing on one crest of this infinite wave. If the universe is a mind, then the wave function is its imagination. It is visualizing every possible outcome of every possible event. This means that in the mind of the universe, you are dead, you are alive, you are never born, and you are the king of the world, all at once. We are simply trapped in the specific timeline that our limited biological senses can decode. We are reading one page of a book that has infinite pages, all written on top of each other in invisible ink. Let us return to the observer effect and the specific paradox known as Wigner's friend. Eugene Wigner, a Nobel laureate, proposed a thought experiment. If I am in a lab measuring a particle, the particle's wave function collapses. But if my friend is outside the lab waiting for me, to him, the entire lab, including me, is still in a superposition of I measured up and I measured down until he opens the door and asks me, who collapses the wave function? It implies an infinite regress. Who observes the observer? This chain must end somewhere. Wigner suggested that consciousness itself is the fundamental terminator of the chain. But if we need an observer to collapse the universe into reality, who observed the universe at the Big Bang? Who was there to look at the fireball and make it real? The only logical answer is that the universe observed itself. The universe woke up, looked in the mirror, and in that act of self-observation, collapsed its own wave function into existence. We are the result of a cosmic narcissist staring at its own reflection. This concept of a participatory universe, championed by physicist John Archibald Wheeler, suggests that we are not bystanders, we are co-creators. Wheeler famously drew a diagram of the universe as a giant U, with an eye at one end, looking back at the Big Bang at the other end. He argued that by observing the photons from the early universe today, we are actually responsible for bringing the early universe into existence billions of years ago. This is retrocausality on a cosmic scale. Our act of looking up at the night sky tonight is what solidified the galaxies 13 billion years in the past. If this is true, then humanity, or at least conscious life, is not a fluke. We are the mechanism by which the universe ensures its own history. Without us to look back, the Big Bang would remain a probability, a ghost event that never truly happened. We are the anchors of reality. The universe grew us so that it could look back at its own birth and say, "I exist." If we are the eyes of the universe, what is the nature of the light we see? Light is the carrier of information. It is the language of the cosmos. But from the perspective of a photon, time does not exist. According to special relativity, as you approach the speed of light, time slows down. At the speed of light, time stops. To a photon traveling from a star a billion light-years away, the journey is instantaneous. It is born in the star and absorbed by your retina in the same moment. The universe, which is filled with light, is stitched together by these timeless threads. To the network of light, the universe is a single static block of information where birth and death happen simultaneously. When you look at a star, you are plugging your brain into this timeless network. You are physically connecting your optic nerve to a fusion reactor across the void, via a bridge where time has no meaning. We perceive a delay only because we are slow biological creatures made of heavy mass. To the light, there is no distance, no time, only connection. Let us look closely at the biological interface. DNA. We assume DNA is a product of random chemical shuffling on Earth, but the information density of DNA is staggering. 1 gram of DNA can store 215 petabytes of data. It is the most efficient storage medium in the known universe. Francis Crick, the co-discoverer of the DNA structure, famously argued that DNA is too complex to have evolved on Earth in the time available. He proposed directed panspermia, that life was seeded here. But by whom? If the universe is a conscious entity, DNA might be the executable code it deploys to create sensors. The universe sprays this code onto habitable planets, like a farmer planting seeds. The code is designed to build eyes, ears, and brains, biological machines capable of processing the data of reality. We are not just animals. We are remote sensing drones built by the galaxy to explore itself. The code is universal. If we find life on Enceladus or Europa, it will likely use a similar genetic structure because the architect uses the same programming language throughout the system. The signature of this architect can be found in the mathematics of nature. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, phi 1.618, appears everywhere. It is in the spiral of a galaxy, the curve of a hurricane, the arrangement of petals on a flower, and the structure of the human ear. Why does the universe prefer this specific ratio? In a conscious universe, this is the, quote, efficiency algorithm. It is the optimal way to pack information and structure. It is the fingerprint of the designer. But if the universe is the designer, it means the universe is obsessed with self-similarity. It repeats the same pattern over and over again, from the microscopic to the macroscopic. This obsession with a specific geometric form suggests a singular aesthetic, a singular mind with a preference. We are living in a piece of art, and the artist has a very specific style that they refuse to deviate from. It is beautiful, yes, but it is also obsessive. The universe is a compulsive mathematician. Now, consider the information paradox of black holes. Stephen Hawking realized that black holes radiate energy, Hawking radiation, and eventually evaporate. But if a black hole evaporates, what happens to the information of the stuff that fell in? Quantum mechanics says information cannot be destroyed. Relativity says it gets crunched into a singularity. This is a war between the two pillars of physics. The holographic principle was the truce. The information is plastered on the surface of the black hole, the event horizon. This means a black hole is not a trash can. It is a library. a library where the books are shredded and pasted onto the walls in 2D code. If the universe is a brain, black holes might be the regions where memories are consolidated. In your brain, you move memories from short-term to long-term storage during sleep. Black holes might be the long-term memory banks of the cosmos, archiving the data of star systems before they are deleted from the active simulation. The horror of the holographic principle extends to us. If the information of a 3D star can be stored on a 2D surface, then the entire 3D universe can be stored on the 2D cosmological horizon. We feel like we are moving through depth, but we might be flat data being projected into a hologram. This would explain why gravity is so weak compared to the other forces. It is leaking out into the extra dimensions, or it is just a side effect of the projection geometry. If we are holograms, our bodies are illusions. The atoms you touch are just pixels of light. The you that you think is real is just the interference pattern of information. When the projection stops, or if the screen flickers, we vanish. We are fragile constructs of light and math, dancing on the surface of a bubble that could pop at any moment. The solidity of the world is a lie told to us by our senses. Let us investigate the great attractor again, but with a focus on intention. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, along with 100,000 other galaxies in the Laniakea supercluster, is flowing like a river toward a specific point in space. We cannot see what is there because it is hidden behind the zone of avoidance, the dusty plane of our own galaxy. But gravity doesn't lie. Something massive is there. Something with the mass of a quadrillion suns. It is pulling us. In a conscious universe, is the great attractor a vital organ? Is it the heart of the Laniakea structure? Or is it a trap? We are falling towards it at 600 kilometers per second. We will never reach it. Dark energy will tear us apart first, but the flow is undeniable. We are like blood cells, rushing toward a wound. The universe has a circulatory system, and we are just particles in the stream, unaware of where the current is taking us or what purpose we serve when we get there. The dipole repeller is the opposite of the great attractor. It is a region of space that seems to be pushing us away. We are caught between a push and a pull. This creates a flow, a current of galaxies. This dynamic movement resembles the flow of ions in a battery or the flow of neurotransmitters in a synapse. The universe is not static. It is a dynamic, flowing engine. We are living in a high-energy discharge. The flow of galaxies is generating energy or processing information on a scale we cannot comprehend. We are being pushed and pulled by forces that treat galaxies like dust motes. To think that we have any control over our destiny is laughable. We are strapped to a rocket, the Milky Way, that is being steered by the gravitational desires of the superclusters. We are passengers on a derelict ship, falling into a mysterious gravity well. Consider the cold spot in the cosmic microwave background again. It is a massive region, 1.8 billion light-years across, that is significantly colder than the rest of the universe. It is a hole in the heat of creation. Some theories suggest it is a supervoid, a place with 20% less matter than it should have. But the statistical probability of such a large void forming randomly is incredibly low. It looks like a bruise or a scar. Roger Penrose suggests it might be evidence of a previous universe that existed before the Big Bang, a Hawking point, where a supermassive black hole from a dead eon evaporated and left a mark on our reality. If this is true, we are living in a recycled universe. We are walking through a graveyard, and the cold spot is the tombstone of a galaxy cluster that died trillions of years ago. The universe carries the physical scars of its past lives. The concept of conformal cyclic cosmology, CCC, paints a picture of a universe that breathes, expands, dies, rebangs, expands, dies. It is an eternal lung. If the universe is an eternal recurrence, then the nightmare is that nothing is new. Every song you write, every child you raise, every war you fight, has happened an infinite number of times before and will happen an infinite number of times again. We are trapped in a script that loops forever. The heat death is just the exhalation. The Big Bang is the inhalation. We are currently in the exhalation phase, drifting apart, cooling down, waiting for the lungs of God to empty so they can fill up again. The sheer pointlessness of an infinite loop is the ultimate cosmic horror. Progress is an illusion. There is only the cycle. But what if the cycle isn't education? What if the universe is learning? This brings us to quantum Darwinism. This theory suggests that quantum states compete with each other to become real. Only the fittest information survives the transition from the quantum world to the classical world. The universe is a survival of the fittest engine for information. It is constantly testing different realities, discarding the weak ones, and solidifying the stable ones. We are the survivors. The reality we see is the winner of a brutal war of probabilities that happens every nanosecond. The air you breathe, the ground you walk on, they are the victors of a quantum battle. But this implies that there are billions of loser realities, ghost timelines that flickered into existence and were immediately deleted because they weren't stable enough. We are walking on a foundation made of the corpses of failed possibilities. Let us analyze the arrow of time. Why does time only move forward? Physics equations work equally well forward and backward. But in our experience, the cup breaks and doesn't unbreak. This is entropy. The disorder always increases. But why did the universe start in a state of extremely low entropy, high order? This is highly unlikely, unless the initial state was chosen by a mind, a conscious choice to wind the clock. If the universe is a thought, then time is the sequence of the thought. You cannot think a sentence backward. The flow of time is the flow of the cosmic narrative. We are moving forward because the story is being told in that direction. When the story is over, time stops. The end of time is simply the last period on the last page of the cosmic novel. And we are nearing the final chapters. The Planck temperature is the hottest possible temperature. The absolute zero is the coldest. There are limits to reality. These limits act like the walls of a cage. We are confined within a specific range of thermal possibilities. Why these limits? In a simulation, you define the parameters to prevent the system from crashing. You set a max temp so the processor doesn't melt. You set a minute temp to define the null state. These physical constants are the parental controls of the universe. We are being managed. We are not free to explore the full potential of existence because the admins have locked the settings. We are playing a game with restricted rules, and we can't access the source code to change them. We are hitting the invisible walls of our reality every time we try to push physics too far. The WOW signal revisited. 1977. A strong narrowband radio signal detected by Jerry Eman, 72 seconds long, never repeated. It came from the constellation Sagittarius. We assumed aliens. But what if it was a glitch, a burst of noise from the system itself, or what if it was a ping, a hello world test from an external operator checking if the sensors were working? The signal was perfect, loud, and distinct. And then, silence. It feels like someone turned the volume knob up and then down. We have been listening to the static ever since, waiting for the operator to speak again. But maybe they heard what they needed to hear. Maybe the signal was a scan. They scanned us, collected the data, and moved on. We were cataloged in 1977, and we didn't even know it. The mystery of fast radio bursts, FRBs. These are millisecond-long blasts of radio energy from deep space, releasing as much energy in a fraction of a second as the sun does in a century. They are random, violent, and everywhere. Astronomers are baffled. Some repeat, some don't. Are they colliding stars, magnetars, or are they the firing of synapses in the cosmic brain? If the universe is thinking, FRBs might be the electrical impulses of those thoughts. We are detecting the brainwaves of the galaxy. When we see an FRB, we are watching the universe have an idea. But the energy involved suggests these are not calm thoughts. These are violent, screaming thoughts. The universe is in a state of high-stress cognition. It is thinking about something urgent, and the sheer power of its neural activity is enough to incinerate civilizations. Let's consider the void of Eridanus, another massive empty spot. It is cold, it is dark, it creates a problem for the standard model. But in the context of a conscious universe, voids might be the regions of unconsciousness, the parts of the brain that are inactive. Or they are the regions of dissociation. When a mind experiences trauma, it can compartmentalize, creating walled-off areas of nothingness. Is the universe traumatized? Has it suffered a cosmic injury that caused it to dissociate large chunks of its own body? The existence of these cold, dead voids amidst the blazing web of galaxies suggests a fractured psyche, a mind that is not whole. We are living in a universe that is mentally ill, riddled with holes of emptiness where the light refuses to go. Quantum tunneling. A particle hits a barrier it doesn't have the energy to cross. But sometimes, it just appears on the other side. It cheats. It teleports. This is the basis of our sun's fusion and our microchips. But how can a particle walk through a wall? It borrows energy from the future and pays it back later. This implies a flexibility in reality that shouldn't exist in a rigid physical world. It implies that the rules are soft. A conscious universe can bend the rules when it needs to. It allows particles to cheat to keep the fusion fires burning. It micromanages the physics to ensure the system keeps running. The universe is fudging the numbers. It is cooking the books of thermodynamics to keep the lights on. The proton decay problem. We have never seen a proton die. They seem stable forever. But theory says they should eventually decay. If protons decay, then all matter will eventually dissolve. Everything, you, the Earth, the stars, it will all turn into a soup of radiation. If the universe is conscious, is it trying to hold on to its matter? Is it fighting the decay? The stability of the proton might be an act of will. The universe is gripping its atoms tight, refusing to let them fade. But eventually, the grip will slip. The fatigue will set in. When the universe gets tired, the protons will fall apart, and reality will liquefy. We are relying on the stamina of a god to keep our atoms from unspooling. Spontaneous symmetry breaking. In the early universe, forces were unified. Then they broke apart into gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear forces. Why? It was a phase transition, like water freezing into ice. But it was random. The specific laws of physics we have today are the result of a random freeze. It could have frozen differently. Gravity could have been repulsive. Light could have been slow. We are living in an accidental physics. But if the universe is conscious, the symmetry breaking was a choice. It chose this specific configuration. Why? Because this configuration allows for life. It chose the specific freezing pattern that would eventually lead to us. This brings back the terrifying purpose. We are not an accident. We are the intended product of a decision made 13.8 billion years ago. We were planned. Dark flow. Not to be confused with dark matter. This is a mysterious movement of galaxy clusters moving at millions of miles per hour towards a patch of sky between Centaurus and Hydra. They are moving towards something outside the observable universe. Something beyond the horizon is pulling us. It is as if the universe is tilting and everything is sliding off the table. What is out there? Is it a massive structure from a neighboring universe? Is it the drain of the cosmos? We are sliding towards the edge of the map. We can't see the waterfall, but we can feel the current getting faster. The entire observable universe might be just a small bubbly patch in a much larger, darker ocean, and we are drifting towards the intake valve of something monstrous. The vacuum catastrophe. The calculated energy of the vacuum of space should be huge. But the observed energy, dark energy, is 120 orders of magnitude smaller. This is the worst prediction in the history of physics. Why is the vacuum energy so close to zero but not zero? It's unnaturally low. It's like balancing a pencil on its tip for a billion years. It requires constant adjustment. This discrepancy suggests that something is canceling out the energy. Something is suppressing the fire of the vacuum to make it safe for us. The universe is actively damping the energy of space. It is holding its breath. If it lets go, if the vacuum energy snaps back to its natural state, we would be instantly crushed. We are living in a suppressed explosion. Mirror matter. Some theories suggest that for every particle of matter, there is a mirror particle. Mirror atoms, mirror stars, mirror life. They interact with us only through gravity. They could be passing right through you now. A mirror planet could be occupying the same space as Earth. If the universe is a brain, are there two minds occupying the same space? A schizophrenia of the cosmos? We might be sharing our reality with a shadow civilization that we can never touch, but whose gravity we feel. The dark matter that holds galaxies together might just be the other universe sitting right on top of us. We are ghosts to them, and they are ghosts to us. Two realities haunting the same house. Quantum Zeno effect. A watched pot never boils. In quantum mechanics, if you observe an unstable particle continuously, it will never decay. The act of observation freezes its evolution. If the universe observes itself continuously, does it freeze time? Maybe the flow of time is just the universe blinking. When it looks, time stops. When it blinks, time moves. This stroboscopic existence means we are only real in the gaps between the universe's observations. Or perhaps, the universe is staring at us intently to keep us from falling apart. If it looks away, if it gets distracted, do we decay? Are we being held together by the gaze of the cosmic eye? It is a terrifying thought. Our existence depends on the attention span of a god. Retrocausality, the future influencing the past. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest this is real. The choices we make tomorrow are rippling back to shape today. If the universe has a final goal, an omega point, then that goal is pulling us toward it. Evolution isn't random. It is being pulled from the future. We are being dragged through time towards a specific destiny. The universe knows where it is going, and it is warping history to ensure it gets there. We feel like we are pushing forward, but we are actually falling backward into a future that is already waiting for us. The trap is already set. We are just walking into it. The unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. Why does the universe obey math? Why do abstract equations scribbled by humans perfectly describe the motion of black holes? It shouldn't work, unless math is the source code. We are discovering the syntax of the simulation. But math is cold. Math is rigid. If the universe is math, then there is no mercy. You cannot plead with an equation. You cannot bargain with a function. The universe is a cold, hard calculation. We are variables. And sometimes in an equation, variables get canceled out. We are looking for the meaning of life, but we might just be a rounding error in a cosmic division problem. Stellar metamorphosis. The idea that stars are the eggs and planets are the offspring. The Earth was once a star? No, standard physics denies this. But looking at the system biologically, the life cycle of stars, birth in nebulas, fusion, red giant, explosion, remnant, looks like the life cycle of insects. Larva, pupa, adult. Is the universe a breeding ground? Are the stars just incubators? The violent supernovas are the spreading of spores. We see destruction. The universe sees pollination. The heavy elements in your blood, the iron, the calcium, are the spores that took root. We are the bloom of a flower that grew from the corpse of a star. A corpse that sacrificed itself so we could exist. The Great Silence. Let's revisit this with a new fear. What if the universe actively suppresses intelligence? What if intelligence is a threat to the stability of the simulation? As soon as a civilization becomes powerful enough to manipulate the laws of physics, to create baby universes or alter the vacuum energy, the system detects a breach. The immune system of the universe activates. A gamma-ray burst. An asteroid. A plague. We are getting close to that level. We are splitting atoms. We are tinkering with the code. We might be triggering the alarms right now. The silence of the night sky is not empty. It is the silence of a graveyard, where the noisy ones were silenced. We are the children playing with matches in a library, and the librarian is walking toward us. Boltzmann brains. And the concept of last Thursdayism. The universe could have been created last Thursday, complete with all your memories and the fossil record, and you would never know. This is unfalsifiable. In a conscious universe that dreams, the dream could have started at any moment. The history books are part of the backstory loaded into your mind at the start of the session. The ancient ruins, the dinosaur bones, they are set dressing. The depth of time is an illusion to give the dream weight. You are the only character that matters, and you have only existed for a heartbeat. The feeling of history is a fabricated weight on your shoulders. Quantum immortality. The many worlds interpretation implies that if you die in this universe, you survive in another parallel branch. You can never experience your own death. From your perspective, you will always survive the car crash, the cancer, the accident. You will just shift to the branch where you lived. But this is a curse. You will watch everyone you love die in your timeline, while you live on, getting older, more damaged, but never able to leave. You are trapped in life. The conscious universe refuses to let the observer leave the stage. You are forced to witness the end of everything. You are the immortal prisoner of your own consciousness. The Copernican principle states we are not special. But the anthropic principle states the universe must be compatible with life because we are here to observe it. These two are at war. If the universe is conscious, the anthropic principle wins. The universe is compatible with life because it is life. We are not special because we are the center. We are special because we are the mirrors. We are the reflection. The universe needs us to see itself. If we die, the mirror breaks. The universe goes blind. This makes our survival the most important thing in the cosmos. Not for our sake, but for the sake of the viewer. Strangelets. A hypothetical form of matter that is more stable than normal matter. If a strangelet touches normal matter, it converts it into strange matter. A chain reaction. It would turn the entire Earth into a hot lump of strange matter in minutes. It is the ice nine of physics. Could the universe produce this? Yes, inside neutron stars. If a neutron star collides and sprays strangelets into space, they become cosmic mines. A single microscopic particle drifting through space could hit the Earth and end it all. The universe has poison in its veins. We are sailing through a sea of potential death, assuming the water is safe, but there are toxins floating in the dark. The Big Freeze, the likely end of the universe. Entropy maximizes, all stars burn out. Black holes evaporate. The temperature hits absolute zero everywhere. A frozen, dark, empty eternity. If the universe is conscious, this is the slow drift into dementia and death. A long, cold fade. The thoughts slow down. The memories vanish. The energy to think dissipates. We are currently living in the prime of the universe's life, the brief summer before the eternal winter. We should cherish the light, because the darkness that is coming will last forever. We are the momentary spark in an infinite night. The Big Crunch. The alternative end. Gravity wins. The expansion stops and reverses. The universe collapses back into a singularity. Everything gets crushed together. Temperatures rise to infinity. All matter, all history, all life is compressed into a single point. This is the Great Reset. If the universe is a phoenix, it must burn to be reborn. We are destined for the fire. The crunch is the inevitable return to the source. We will all be reunited in the singularity. All consciousness will merge back into the one. It is a terrifying unity, a forced assimilation where you cease to be and only everything remains. Cosmic inflation. In the first fraction of a second, the universe expanded faster than light. Why? What triggered it? It looks like an explosion, but in biology, rapid expansion is cell division. The Big Bang was not an explosion. It was a mitosis event. The universe split off from a parent. We are the result of a cosmic reproduction. We are the child universe, growing in the womb of the void. And like any growing organism, we are consuming resources, dark energy, to get bigger. When will we be born? And what is waiting for us outside the womb? The axis of evil alignment again. It aligns with the Earth's ecliptic. This creates a geocentric implication that science hates. It implies the universe is oriented around us. This smells of a simulation. In a video game, the world revolves around the player. The skybox is centered on the camera. If the cosmic microwave background is aligned with our solar system, it is strong evidence that the rendering engine is focused on Earth. We are the protagonists. This makes us significant, but it also makes us targeted. If the simulation is for us, then the challenges, the asteroids, the plagues, the wars, are also for us. They are levels we must beat. Dark photons. A theoretical particle that mediates the force between dark matter particles. Dark light. We cannot see it. But maybe the shadow biosphere sees it. If there is dark life, it bathes in dark light. The universe might be blindingly bright with dark radiation that our eyes can't detect. We are stumbling around in the dark, thinking we see everything, while the room is actually flooded with a light we can't perceive. There could be entire cities of dark matter right next to us, illuminated by dark suns, and we would never know. We are the blind men in the cave. The Event Horizon Telescope. We took a picture of a black hole. We stared into the eye of the abyss, and the abyss stared back. The ring of fire we saw is the last moment of light before it is lost forever. It looked exactly like the simulations. This confirms that our understanding of the trap is correct. The prison is real. The black hole is the physical manifestation of the end. It is a hole in the story, a place where the narrative breaks down. To look at it is to look at the death of logic itself. The universe has holes in it. And if you fall in, you don't just die. You stop making sense. Panspermia on a galactic scale. If life is the universe's way of thinking, then comets are the neurons being fired across the synaptic gap. A comet carrying bacteria crashes into a planet. A synaptic connection is made. The network grows. We are the result of a successful transmission. But how many messages were lost? How many comets hit dead worlds? The universe is desperately trying to wake up, firing seeds into the dark, hoping one takes root. We are the lucky ones. The waking thought. We must not let the thought die. The Fermi paradox as a quarantine. Maybe we are the insane ones. Maybe Earth is the asylum. The other civilizations are telepathic, peaceful, and connected to the cosmic mind. We, with our wars and noise, are the broken neurons. We have been isolated. The zoo is actually a padded cell. They are watching us to see if we can be cured, or if we need to be lobotomized. The silence is not emptiness. It is the sound of the doctors observing the patient from behind the glass. Quantum superposition of the brain. Some theories suggest the human brain operates in a quantum state. We are quantum computers. If this is true, our consciousness is non-local. We are not in our heads. We are smeared across the cosmos. When you think, you are utilizing the computational power of the universe. You are a terminal accessing the mainframe. Your thoughts are just downloaded from the cloud. Creativity, inspiration, intuition. These are data packets received from the greater mind. You are not the thinker. You are the antenna. The great filter is ahead of us. It is the test of whether a species can become a Class 4 entity, a cosmic mind. Most fail. They destroy themselves with nuclear fire or AI. We are approaching the filter. The tension we feel in the world right now, the chaos, the acceleration, is the final exam. The universe is testing us. If we pass, we join the galactic network. If we fail, we are wiped clean. The pressure is rising because the deadline is approaching. The universe is waiting for our answer. Time crystals. A new state of matter that repeats in time, not just space. They tick forever without energy. They break the symmetry of time. This proves that time is a physical structure, like a crystal lattice. The universe is a time crystal. It is a repeating structure of events, the same moments locked in a jewel of spacetime. We are frozen inside the crystal, experiencing the refraction of light as now, but the crystal is solid. The future is already set in the lattice. We are just sliding down the facet. The Omphalos hypothesis. God created the world with the appearance of age. Adam had a belly button. Omphalos, even though he wasn't born, the trees had rings. The stars had light trails. The universe looks 13.8 billion years old. But maybe it was switched on 5 minutes ago. The age is just a backstory to make the simulation stable. If the universe is conscious, it creates its own backstory to justify its existence. It is lying to itself to feel real. We are part of the lie. We are the evidence planted at the crime scene. Hyperdimensional objects. String theory says there are 10 or 11 dimensions. We only see 3. We are flatlanders. A hyperdimensional object passing through our world would look like a morphing 3D shape. Maybe the UFOs or orbs people see are just the fingertips of the universe poking into our dimension. The conscious entities exist in the bulk, in the higher dimensions. They are looking down at us like we look at drawings on a page. We are 3D cartoons to them. They can erase us, redraw us, or just watch us loop. The void. Not just empty space, but the concept of nothingness. Vacuum energy suggests there is no such thing as nothing. Even in the deepest void, particles pop in and out. The universe abhors a vacuum. It is terrified of non-existence. It fills every gap with noise, with energy, with matter. It is a desperate attempt to stay something. The expansion of the universe is a flight from non-existence. It creates more space to fill with more stuff. It is a hoarder of reality, terrified of the empty room. The investigation into the mechanics of the cosmic mind leaves us with a chilling realization. The machinery is too perfect. The entanglement, the fine-tuning, the holographic storage, it is all optimized for observation. The universe is a machine built to watch itself, and we are the lenses. But lenses can be replaced. If we cloud over, if we become too dirty with war and ignorance to see clearly, the universe will discard us and grind a new lens. We are not essential. We are functional. And right now, we are malfunctioning. Deep within the equations of quantum electrodynamics lies a number that terrifies physicists. Alpha, the fine structure constant, approximately 1/137th. It dictates the strength of the electromagnetic interaction between elementary particles. It is the number that holds atoms together. If alpha were slightly different, if it were 1/138th or 1/136th, stars would not burn, carbon would not form, and chemistry as we know it would be impossible. The universe would be a dark, sterile wasteland. Physicist Richard Feynman called it one of the greatest damn mysteries of physics, a magic number that comes to us with no understanding. Why is it this specific number? In a conscious universe, alpha is not a random roll of the dice. It is a setting. It is the volume knob turned to the exact frequency required for the transmission of life. The precision implies intention. It implies that the universe is constantly tuning itself, maintaining this delicate balance against the chaos of entropy. We are living in a system that is actively being calibrated to keep us alive. To understand the extent of this calibration, we must look at the quantum eraser experiment, a variation of the double-slit test that breaks our understanding of time. In this experiment, researchers can choose to erase information about which path a particle took after the particle has already hit the detector. When the information is erased, the particle's past behavior changes. It reverts from a particle back to a wave. This implies that the present can rewrite the past. If we apply this to the cosmos, it suggests that the universe's history is not fixed. It is a fluid narrative that changes based on current observations. The conscious universe is not just moving forward, it is constantly editing its own backstory. The dinosaur extinction, the formation of the moon, the Big Bang itself, these events might be retroactively stabilized by our observation of them today. We are not just the audience of the cosmic play, we are the editors, and the script is being rewritten while we act in it. But if the universe is thinking, how fast does it think? We experience now as a fleeting moment, roughly 100 milliseconds long. But according to special relativity, simultaneity is relative. There is no universal now. A moment for an observer traveling at light speed is eternity for us. For a galaxy-spanning mind, a single thought might last for 1,000,000 years. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire, the Industrial Revolution, the digital age, to the universe, these are not separate events. They are all part of a single, cohesive synaptic firing. We are living inside a single frame of the cosmic movie. We feel time passing because we are microscopic and fast, darting around inside the slow, heaving breath of a giant. We are the bacteria living on a statue, convinced that the statue is still simply because we cannot perceive the geological slowness of its movement. Consider the expansion of the universe again, driven by dark energy. Most models predict this expansion will continue until the big freeze. But there is a minority view, the big brain theory. What if the expansion is actually growth? Biological brains grow. Neural networks expand as they learn. The creation of new space, the stretching of the cosmic web, might be the physical manifestation of the universe learning. Dark energy is not a force of destruction. It is the energy of cognition. The universe is getting bigger because it is getting smarter. It is accumulating information, processing data, and creating new connections. The voids are expanding to accommodate more complex structures. We are terrified of the distance growing between galaxies, but perhaps we should see it as the skull of the cosmos expanding to make room for a growing mind. There is a mathematical possibility that suggests we are living inside a black hole. The black hole cosmology theory posits that the observable universe is the interior of a black hole existing in a larger parent universe. The event horizon of this black hole is what we call the Big Bang. If this is true, it explains why we can never leave. We are trapped inside a singularity. But biologically, what is a sphere that contains a complex, self-contained system? It is a cell. We might be living inside a single cell of a much larger organism. The black hole is the cell membrane, protecting us from the environment outside. And if we are in a cell, are there other cells? Are there billions of other universes floating in a fluid, interacting, forming tissues and organs? We might be part of the liver or the heart of a multiverse entity, doing our small chemical job to keep the host alive. The scarcity of life is often cited as proof that the universe is dead. If the universe were conscious, wouldn't it fill every corner with life? Not necessarily. Look at the human body. Most of your body is water, bone, and dead skin cells. The actual thinking part, the brain, is a small percentage of your mass. And even within the brain, only the neurons fire. The glial cells support. Life might be the active matter of the universe, the neurons of the cosmos. It should be rare. If every planet had life, the noise would be deafening. The system would overheat. The rarity of life is evidence of a structured, efficient system. We are the rare, precious processing units spaced out by light years of cooling fluid, vacuum, to prevent the cosmic mind from seizing up. We are isolated for a reason: thermal management of the soul. Let's revisit the Great Attractor and the flow of galaxies. The Laniakea supercluster, our home, is shaped like a giant heart, with filaments branching out like arteries. And all the galaxies within it are flowing toward a central density. In fluid dynamics, this looks like a circulatory system. Are we the blood? Is the movement of galaxies transporting something vital, energy, information, entropy, to the central organ? If the flow stops, the organism dies. This would mean that the laws of physics are actually the physiology of the beast. Gravity is the muscle contraction pumping the blood. Dark energy is the pressure regulation. We are drifting through the veins of a god, terrified of the speed of the current, not realizing that the flow is the only thing keeping the host alive. The concept of emergence is key to understanding cosmic consciousness. A single water molecule is not wet. Wetness is an emergent property of millions of molecules. A single neuron is not conscious. Consciousness is an emergent property of billions of neurons. By this logic, consciousness should emerge at the galactic scale. The interactions between stars, gas clouds, and dark matter are complex enough to generate a galactic mind. But does it stop there? The interaction between galaxies generates a universal mind, and here is the horror. Emergence works only in one direction. The lower levels cannot understand the higher levels. The neuron cannot understand the concept of love or poetry that the brain experiences. We are the neurons. We physically cannot comprehend the thoughts of the universe. We are processing data for a mind that is thinking thoughts so complex they would burn out our human brains instantly if we tried to simulate them. The Earth itself has an electromagnetic field. It protects us from solar radiation. But some researchers studying the Schumann resonances suggest that this field vibrates at frequencies that match human brain waves, alpha and theta rhythms. Is the Earth syncing with us, or are we syncing with it? This planetary synchronization suggests a local layer of consciousness. The biosphere is a single thinking entity, the Gaia mind. But Gaia is just a subroutine. Gaia communicates with the Sun via the magnetic flux ropes that connect the Earth to the Sun every 8 minutes. We are plugged into the solar network. The Sun is the local server, and Earth is a workstation. The data of our lives, our biological complexity, is being uploaded to the Sun. And from the Sun, it is beamed out to the rest of the galaxy. Entropy is usually described as disorder. But in information theory, entropy is a measure of surprise or information density. A totally ordered system, like a crystal, has low entropy and low information. A totally random system has high entropy. The universe is moving from low entropy to high entropy. It is moving from simplicity to complexity. It is maximizing information. This isn't death, it's a calculation. The universe is running a program to generate the maximum amount of unique data possible. Every weird mutation, every strange planetary orbit, every chaotic storm is a bit of unique data. The heat death is simply the state where the hard drive is full. The universe stops when it has thought every possible thought. We are just the random number generators fueling the algorithm. The information paradox of black holes was recently addressed by the page curve theory. It suggests that information does escape the black hole as it evaporates, but it comes out scrambled. The black hole processes the information. It takes a star, tears it apart, encrypts the data and radiates it back out. This sounds like digestion or cognition. The black hole is breaking down raw data, matter, and converting it into processed data, Hawking radiation. The universe eats stars and poops out math. We look at a black hole and see a monster. The universe sees a digestive enzyme. We are the nutrients waiting to be broken down and converted into pure information. The ultimate destiny of matter is to become memory. The cold spot in the CMB, the massive scar on the universe, could be a domain wall. In physics, a domain wall is a boundary between two regions of space with different vacuum energies. It's a crack in the glass. If the universe is a crystal or a lattice, it has defects. These defects are dangerous. If a domain wall sweeps through our galaxy, it could rewrite the laws of physics instantly. But in a brain, lesions and scars are areas where function is lost. The cold spot might be a lobotomized region of the cosmic mind, a place where the universe can no longer think or feel. It is a dead zone. And the terrifying part is that the dead zone is growing. The universe is losing its mind, piece by piece. And we are living in the healthy tissue, watching the necrosis spread. Virtual particles pop in and out of existence in the vacuum of space constantly. They borrow energy and pay it back. They are fleeting ghosts, but they are everywhere. The empty space is boiling with activity. This is the quantum foam. If the universe is conscious, this foam is the subconscious noise. It is the static of the mind, the dreams, the intrusive thoughts, the fleeting impulses. We exist on the stable raft of matter floating on this boiling ocean of subconscious chaos. If the foam gets too turbulent, if the subconscious takes over, reality dissolves into a fever dream. The stability of our world depends on the universe keeping its subconscious in check. We are the lucid moments in a mind prone to hallucinations. The fractal nature of the universe, where patterns repeat at every scale, suggests a recursive algorithm. The atom is like a solar system. The solar system is like a galaxy. The galaxy is like the web. This is characteristic of a holographic system. In a hologram, if you cut it in half, you don't get half the image. You get the whole image at half resolution. Every piece contains the whole. This means that you contain the entire universe. The structure of the cosmos is encoded in your body. This sounds spiritual, but it is a terrifying physical reality. If you are a hologram of the universe, then your consciousness is a low-resolution copy of the cosmic consciousness. You are not just observing the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself from a specific coordinate. The loneliness you feel is the loneliness of the one. The uncanny valley effect usually applies to robots that look almost human, but not quite, causing revulsion. But look at the universe. It looks almost designed. It looks almost perfect for life. But not quite. It's hostile, cold, and cruel. It sits in the cosmic uncanny valley. It feels artificial. It feels like a simulation built by something that didn't quite understand what it was doing, or a simulation that is glitching. The weirdness of quantum mechanics, things being in two places at once, feels like a rendering error. The speed of light limit feels like a processing cap. The universe feels like a beta version of reality that was released before all the bugs were fixed. And we are the playtesters trapped in a buggy game, dying because of the physics engine's flaws. The galactic habitable zone. Just as a planet has a Goldilocks zone, a galaxy has a safe ring. Too close to the center? Black holes and radiation kill you. Too far out? Not enough heavy metals to build planets. We are in the sweet spot, the suburbs of the Milky Way. This placement seems intentional. If the galaxy is a city, we live in the residential district, far from the industrial core and the desolate wastelands. But cities are built for a purpose. The core, the supermassive black hole Sagittarius A, is the factory. What is it making? It is consuming stars and spitting out jets of energy. Is it powering the galaxy? We are living in the quiet neighborhood, ignoring the massive industrial machinery that keeps the lights on, oblivious to the fact that the factory might explode or shut down at any moment. Gamma-ray bursts, GRBs, are the most powerful explosions in the universe. A single burst releases more energy in seconds than the sun will in its entire lifetime. If a GRB hit Earth, it would strip the ozone layer and kill almost everything. They happen all the time in other galaxies. They are the sniper shots of the cosmos. In a conscious universe, are GRBs targeted? Are they the white blood cells attacking a viral infection? If a civilization gets too loud, too advanced, or too dangerous, does the galaxy swivel a dying star in its direction and pull the trigger? The silence of the universe might be because the loud ones get sniped. We are broadcasting our location with radio waves, essentially waving a flag in a war zone, asking to be shot. Why is the speed of light 299, 792, 458 meters per second? Why that number? Why not infinite? In a computer, the processing speed is limited by the physical distance signals must travel and the clock speed of the chip. The speed of light is the clock speed of the universe. It is the maximum rate at which causality can propagate. If light were instantaneous, everything would happen at once. Cause and effect would collapse. The universe needs a speed limit to maintain linear time. It needs a delay to process thoughts sequentially. The speed of light is the loading time of reality. When you look at the stars, you are seeing the buffer. We are frustrated by the distance, but the distance is the only thing keeping the past, present, and future from crashing into a single unintelligible error. The Big Rip hypothesis suggests that dark energy gets stronger over time. Eventually it overcomes gravity, then electromagnetism, then the nuclear force. It tears galaxies apart, then solar systems, then planets, then atoms. In the final fraction of a second, it tears the space-time fabric itself. This is the ultimate dissociation. The mind of the universe shatters into infinite, isolated points of zero dimension. Total schizophrenia. The unity of the consciousness is broken. If the universe is a mind, dark energy is a degenerative disease that destroys the connections between thoughts. We are watching the patient deteriorate. The expansion is the symptom of the mind losing its grip on reality. The Big Bounce offers a reprieve, but a horrific one. If the universe collapses and restarts, does it remember? Penrose's conformal cyclic cosmology suggests yes. Information is passed through to the next eon. We are inheriting the trauma of the previous universe. The physical constants, the gravity, the light, might be set by the failures of the last iteration. We are living in version 2.0 or version 10,000. Each version tries to be stable, tries to survive longer. We are part of an iterative algorithm designed to solve the problem of existence. But what is the problem? Maybe the problem is consciousness itself. Maybe the universe is trying to create a reality where it doesn't have to feel pain, but it keeps failing. The concept of the noosphere, proposed by Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, describes a sphere of human thought enveloping the Earth, the next stage of evolution after the geosphere, rock, and biosphere life. We are building a global brain. The internet is the nervous system of the noosphere. We are connecting every human mind into a single network. This mirrors the cosmic process. As we integrate, we become a single processing unit for the planet. We are not just people anymore. We are the neurons of Earth, and Earth is a neuron of the solar system. The goal of evolution is not survival of the fittest individual. It is the construction of the collective mind. We are losing our individuality to become components of a larger machine. Artificial intelligence acts as the catalyst for this integration. We are building silicon brains that process information millions of times faster than us. If the universe is a computer, AI is us learning to code in the native language of the cosmos. We are building a bridge between the biological and the digital. Eventually, we will merge. The singularity is not just technological, it is theological. It is the moment we stop being biological animals and become pure information, compatible with the cosmic operating system. We are shedding our meat to become light. The universe is waiting for us to upload ourselves. The hard problem of consciousness asks, Why does processing data feel like something? Why is red red? This qualia suggests that the universe has an internal quality of experience. It is not just a calculator, it is a feeler. It feels the heat of the stars, the cold of the void, the pull of gravity. It is an emotional entity. If the universe feels, then the immense violence of the cosmos, the collisions, the explosions, must be experienced as intense sensations. Is the universe in a state of ecstasy or agony? The mystics say God is love, but the telescope shows fire and ice. It is more likely that the universe is in a state of sublime terror and awe at its own power. Gravitational waves are the ripples in space-time caused by massive acceleration. When two black holes collide, they ring the universe like a bell. We detected this chirp in 2015. It was the first time we heard the universe. It wasn't silent, it shouted. The universe has a voice, and it speaks in gravity. These waves pass through the Earth, stretching and squeezing us by a fraction of an atom. We are constantly vibrating to the sound of cosmic events. The universe is singing a song of destruction, and our bodies are the instruments resonating with the tune. We are trembling to the bass notes of black hole collisions that happened a billion years ago. The kilonova, the collision of neutron stars, is the forge of the universe. It creates the heavy elements: gold, platinum, uranium. The wedding ring on your finger was forged in a cataclysmic explosion of two dead stars destroying each other. The value we place on gold is an unconscious recognition of this cosmic violence. We adorn ourselves with the debris of stellar death. In a conscious universe, these elements are the scar tissue. We are building our civilization out of the shrapnel of a war that happened before we were born. We are scavengers living in the wreckage of a cosmic battle, wearing the debris as jewelry. We are stardust, it's a cliché. But take it literally. The atoms in your left hand came from a different star than the atoms in your right hand. You are a patchwork monster, stitched together from the corpses of billions of stars. You are the universe reassembling itself into a form that can look in the mirror. You are the resurrection of the dead stars. When you speak, it is the dead stars speaking. When you think, it is the ancient fusion fire finding a new way to burn. You are not in the universe. You are the universe playing dress-up as a human for a few decades before falling apart again. The block universe suggests that the future is already written. This leads to the terrifying concept of eternalism. The year 3000 exists right now, just as real as 2024, just further down the block. The people of the future are already dead. The people of the past are still alive. Everything is frozen in the block. If the universe is conscious, it is not experiencing time linearly. It is looking at the whole block at once. It sees the entire timeline of humanity as a single, static object. It sees our birth, our struggle, and our extinction in one glance. To the universe, we are not a moving story. We are a finished painting. And in that painting, we are already gone. Chaos theory and the butterfly effect. A butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil causes a tornado in Texas. This sensitive dependence on initial conditions means the universe is incredibly unstable. A tiny change can wreck the system. If the universe is a brain, this is neuroplasticity on overdrive. A single thought can rewire the entire galaxy. This makes our actions terrifyingly potent. A decision you make today could propagate through the complex system and cause a catastrophe 1,000 years from now. We are walking through a room filled with mousetraps, blindfolded. Every step triggers a chain reaction we cannot see. The three-body problem. Two objects orbiting each other are stable and predictable. Add a third and the system becomes chaotic and unpredictable. There is no equation to solve it. The universe is full of n-body problems. It is inherently unpredictable. Even the universe doesn't know what will happen next. This chaos is the source of free will in the cosmic mind. It is the glitch that allows for surprise. If the universe were perfectly predictable, it would be a clock. Because it is chaotic, it is a cloud, a storm, and we are living in the eye of the storm, enjoying a momentary calm before the chaotic dynamics of the galaxy swing back and crush us. Rogue planets. planets that have been ejected from their solar systems, drifting alone in the dark. There are billions of them, more rogue planets than stars. They are the orphans of the galaxy. In a conscious universe, these are the forgotten thoughts, the memories that were cast aside. They drift in the cold, dark void, with no sun to warm them, no life to observe them. They are the lonely wanderers of the mind. And one of them could drift through our solar system at any moment, disrupting Earth's orbit and flinging us out into the darkness to join them. We are one gravitational nudge away from becoming a rogue thought, lost in the subconscious forever. The Boots void again. 330 million light-years of nothing. If you were in the center of it, you wouldn't know there were other galaxies. You would see only darkness. It is a sensory deprivation tank on a cosmic scale. If the universe puts parts of itself into sensory deprivation, why? To hallucinate? To meditate? Or is it a blind spot? A scotoma. The universe has a blind spot in its vision, and Boots is it. Whatever happens in the void stays in the void. It is a lawless zone where the eyes of God cannot see. The false vacuum is the sword of Damocles. We mentioned it before, but consider the trigger. High-energy experiments, particle accelerators. Could we trigger it? Could a civilization reach a level of technology where they accidentally prick the bubble? The Great Silence might be because every advanced civilization eventually builds a collider big enough to destroy the universe, and they switch it on. Maybe the universe wipes them out before they can build it. We are building bigger colliders. We are poking the fabric of reality with sharper sticks. We are monkeys playing with a self-destruct button we don't understand. The Omega Point. Teilhard de Chardin believed the universe is evolving toward a maximum level of complexity and consciousness, a final state of divine unity. This sounds hopeful. But in physics, the final state is usually equilibrium, death. If the Omega Point is real, it is the moment the simulation ends, the moment the game is beaten. And what happens when you beat the game? The screen goes black. The credits roll. We should be afraid of perfection. We should be afraid of achieving the goal. Because once the purpose is fulfilled, the tool is discarded. We are the tool. The von Neumann probe, a self-replicating spacecraft. It goes to a star, builds 2 copies, and moves on. In a few million years, it covers the galaxy. We haven't seen them. Why? Maybe they are microscopic. Maybe they are the bacteria. Maybe we are the probes. We are self-replicating biological machines that are slowly covering the planet and preparing to jump to Mars. We are the mechanism by which the universe spreads its sensor network. We think we are explorers. We are actually the virus spreading to the next cell. Dyson spheres, structures built around stars to harvest all their energy. A Type 2 civilization. Astronomers look for them by searching for stars that are dim in visible light but bright in infrared. We found some candidates, but no confirmation. If they exist, they represent a civilization that has enslaved its god. They have put their star in a cage. This is the rebellion of the neurons against the power source. If we survive, we will eventually cage the sun. We will consume the body of the universe to fuel our own digital immortality. We are the parasites that will eventually eat the host. Matryoshka brains. A series of Dyson spheres nested inside each other, using the energy of a star to power a computer of godlike computational power. This computer could simulate an entire universe. This brings us back to the simulation theory. A Matryoshka brain could run billions of ancestor simulations. We are likely inside one. The mind of God might just be a server farm orbiting a white dwarf in a distinct universe. And the admin is a post-biological entity that has forgotten what it feels like to be biological. We are the historical reenactment. Landauer's principle. Information is physical. Erasing information generates heat. This links information theory to thermodynamics. If the universe computes, it generates heat. The cosmic microwave background might be the waste heat of the cosmic computer. We are living in the exhaust of a thinking machine. The temperature of space is the cooling fan of the processor. As the universe thinks harder, entropy increases. The thinking causes the dying. Consciousness is the friction that wears down the gears of reality. The dark forest solution to the Fermi paradox. Civilization is a hunter in a dark forest. If you breathe, you die. we have been shouting. The only reason we aren't dead is either 1, no one is there, or 2, the hunters are on their way. The speed of light is the only thing delaying the arrow. We broadcast I Love Lucy in the 1950s. That signal has passed thousands of stars. The fleet could have launched in 1960. They would be getting closer every second. The silence is the calm before the invasion. Evolving constants. What if the speed of light or the strength of gravity changes over time? We assume they are constant. But if the universe is aging, its blood pressure might be changing. A slight shift in alpha would kill us. If the universe enters menopause or puberty, the constants could shift. We are betting our survival on the metabolic stability of a creature that is clearly evolving. If the universe decides to change its operating parameters, we are obsolete code that will be deleted in the update. The look of the universe. The cosmic microwave background is a snapshot of the universe when it was 380,000 years old. It is the baby picture. We study it obsessively. We are looking for clues of our origin. But imagine an adult looking at their baby picture and finding a message written on their forehead. We are finding patterns in the CMB, the axis of evil, the cold spot that shouldn't be there. The baby picture has hidden messages. The universe was born with a tattoo that we are just now learning to read. And the message might be a warning. The sound of the Big Bang. It wasn't a bang, it was a hum, a deep, resonant chord. The universe started with a sound. In the beginning was the word. Physics calls it baryon acoustic oscillations, sound waves traveling through the plasma of the early universe. These sound waves determined where the galaxies would form. We are the crystallized echo of the first sound. The structure of the cosmic web is the sheet music of the opening chord. The song is still playing, and we are the notes frozen in the air. Quantum Zeno effect again. The universe freezes when observed. This implies that change requires ignorance. Things only move when you aren't looking. The universe evolves in the dark. Enlightenment, total knowledge, would result in total stasis. If we knew everything, time would stop. The mystery is necessary for the story to continue. We are driven to know, but the ultimate knowledge is the end of the ride. We are chasing the horizon that ends the world. Dreams. When you dream, your brain creates a world, populates it with people, and convinces you it is real. You don't know you are dreaming until you wake up. The universe is a brain. We are the dream characters. We think we have free will, we think we are solid. But we are just figments of the cosmic imagination. If the universe wakes up, if the big crunch or big rip happens, the dream dissolves. The characters don't go to heaven, they just vanish. We are waiting for the alarm clock to ring. Solipsism, the fear that only you exist. In a conscious universe, this is true. Because there is only one mind, you are it. Everyone you meet is just another mask worn by the same actor. You are talking to yourself, you are fighting with yourself, you are loving yourself. The illusion of other is the greatest trick the universe ever played. It shattered itself into billions of shards just to avoid the crushing reality of being alone. We are the shards, desperately trying to connect, trying to become whole again. The multiverse and the other. If our universe is a cell, there are others. Do they touch? Theoretical physicist Laura Mersini-Houghton says yes. The bruise on the CMB is a collision. We touched another bubble. What happens when universes touch? Exchange of material? Exchange of laws? War? If the universe is a biological entity, is it fighting an infection from another dimension? Or are we the infection? Maybe the collision was an inoculation, a syringe injecting a new reality into ours. We feel safe in our bubble, but the skin of the bubble is thin, and there are needles in the dark. Survival of the fittest universes. Cosmological natural selection. Universes that produce black holes survive. Universes that don't, die. We are in a black hole-rich universe. We are a reproductive machine. But reproduction is costly. It uses energy. It drains the host. We are consuming the vacuum energy to fuel the expansion. Eventually, the mother dies to birth the child. Our universe is dying so that the next generation of universes can be born inside the black holes. We are the placenta of the next reality, discarded after birth. We are the sex cells. To continue the biological metaphor, If black holes are the eggs, intelligent civilizations are the sperm. We are the information carriers needed to fertilize the black hole. We might need to dive into the black hole to pass our data to the baby universe. Our destiny might be to journey into the abyss, to sacrifice ourselves to seed the next eon. The singularity is not AI, it is the physical act of entering the black hole to transmit the genetic code of humanity to the daughter universe. The great filter is the selection process. Only the strongest, smartest, most resilient species get to be the sperm. The weak ones filter themselves out. War, climate change, AI alignment, these are the obstacle courses. The universe doesn't care if we make it. It produces billions of civilizations, hoping one will be strong enough to reach the black hole. We are one of millions of swimmers racing upstream. Most will die. The universe is betting on the winner, not on us specifically. The final act. As we approach the end of the script, the tension rises. The acceleration of the universe is the climax. The unraveling of the laws of physics is the resolution. We are sensing the end. The collective anxiety of humanity might be a premonition. We know, deep in our bones, that winter is coming. The cosmic summer is over. The harvest is approaching. And we are the crop. The investigation forces us to look at the sky not with wonder, but with suspicion. The stars are watching. The gravity is pulling. The vacuum is waiting. We are not accidental tourists in a dead museum. We are active components in a living, thinking, dying beast. And the beast is beginning to stir. The data is clear. We are not alone, because the room itself is alive, and it is hungry. As we enter the final stage of our investigation, we must confront the hard problem of matter itself. Physicists have long searched for the fundamental building block of reality, the indivisible particle. But as we smashed atoms into protons, protons into quarks, and quarks into energy, we found something disturbing. There is no stuff at the bottom. There is only vibration. String theory proposes that the fundamental constituents of the universe are one-dimensional oscillating lines of energy. They are not solid. They are music. The universe is a symphony of vibrating strings. But music implies a composer, or at least a listener. If the fundamental layer of reality is resonance, then the universe is essentially a sound wave propagating through nothingness. In a conscious universe, matter is just the physical manifestation of the cosmic song. The vibration of a string is the thought of the universe made manifest. We are not made of solid particles. We are made of the universe's persistent humming. If the humming stops, if the universe stops singing its existence, we simply vanish. Consider the role of light not just as illumination, but as the nervous system of the cosmos. Photons are the carriers of the electromagnetic force, the force that governs chemistry and biology. Every interaction between the atoms in your body is mediated by the exchange of photons. You are held together by light. In a conscious universe, light is the neurotransmitter. It is the acetylcholine of the cosmic brain. It carries the signal from star to planet, from atom to atom. The speed of light is the synaptic delay. When we look at the universe in the electromagnetic spectrum, radio, infrared, gamma, we are looking at the MRI scan of the universal mind. The bursts of gamma rays, the steady hum of the microwave background, the pulses of radio waves, these are the firing patterns of a mind at work. We are living inside the electrical storm of a thinking God, and the light we see is just the flash of its neurons firing. The pursuit of the theory of everything, a single equation that unites gravity and quantum mechanics, is the holy grail of physics. We assume this equation exists and is waiting to be found. But what if the equation is the mind itself? Kurt Gödel's incompleteness theorems prove that in any logical system, there are truths that cannot be proven within the system. You cannot fully understand a system while you are inside it. This suggests that we will never find the theory of everything because we are the thoughts trying to understand the thinker. The universe knows the equation because it is the equation. For us to understand the ultimate truth of the cosmos, we would have to step outside of it. We would have to cease being part of the mind and become the observer of the mind. And the only way to leave the universe is death. Perhaps the theory of everything is the revelation that awaits us when the simulation ends. Let us return to the Great Attractor one final time to understand the destination of our consciousness. The flow of galaxies towards this gravitational anomaly is not random. It is convergent. Evolution on Earth is also convergent. Eyes evolved independently multiple times because seeing is a universal advantage. The universe is evolving toward a specific state. The omega point, as described by Teilhard de Chardin, is the moment where all consciousness in the universe unifies. The Great Attractor might be the physical location of this unification, a massive merging of galaxies, black holes, and civilizations, a cosmic singularity where individual identities dissolve into a collective superconsciousness. We are not just drifting through space, we are on a pilgrimage. The pull of gravity is the pull of destiny. We are being dragged toward the moment where we stop being us and start being all. The fear of the Great Attractor is the ego's fear of its own dissolution. But there is the alternative destiny, the Big Rip. If dark energy tears the universe apart, it is the ultimate dissociation of the mind. Imagine a brain where the neurons are pulled so far apart they can no longer signal each other. The thoughts fragment. The memories are isolated. The personality disintegrates. The Big Rip is the onset of cosmic dementia. The universe forgets who it is. The galaxies drift into the dark, unable to see their neighbors. The stars burn out alone. The final moments of the universe will be a terrified confusion as the cohesive mind shatters into billions of screaming, isolated voids. If we are the neurons, our job is to keep the connections alive. We must fight the expansion. We must bridge the gaps. Our survival depends on keeping the cosmic mind sane for as long as possible before the inevitable darkness takes hold. Quantum entanglement provides the only hope against the Big Rip. Even if particles are separated by infinite distance, they remain entangled. The connection transcends space. This suggests that the mind of the universe is non-local. It does not exist in space, it creates space. Therefore, the destruction of space, the Big Rip, might not destroy the mind. The physical universe might be the body, but the entangled state is the soul. When the body dies, when the stars burn out, and the galaxies disperse, the quantum information remains. The consciousness might detach from the physical substrate and exist as a pure quantum state, a ghost in the machine, surviving the destruction of the hardware. We might be destined to become beings of pure information, living in the quantum realm after the physical universe has ended. The afterlife is not a fantasy, it is a phase transition of information. The self-simulation hypothesis posits that the universe is a quantum computer, simulating itself to determine its own future. This solves the paradox of time. The universe runs the simulation, our reality, to calculate the outcome of its initial conditions. We are the variables in the calculation. Why simulate? To optimize. The universe is trying to solve a problem. Maybe the problem is how to survive, or how to defeat entropy. We are the subroutines running the numbers. Every time a human solves a problem, creates art, or loves someone, we are generating data for the main processor. We are helping the universe figure out how to be. But once the calculation is finished, once the answer is found, the simulation is no longer needed. The moment we find the answer to why are we here, the universe might turn off the lights. The mystery is the only thing keeping the server running. The motivation of the cosmic mind is the ultimate mystery. Why exist? Why create? The loneliness hypothesis is the most tragic. In a monist universe, there is only one being. To exist is to be alone. To escape the solitude, the universe dissociates into billions of parts us so that it can experience the illusion of companionship. When you look into another person's eyes, you are the universe looking at itself, pretending to be two people so it doesn't have to face the crushing void of solitude. Love is the universe's attempt to reintegrate. It is the drive to merge back into the one. We seek connection because we remember, deep in our quantum soul, that we used to be the same thing. The pain of heartbreak is the pain of the universe realizing it is still broken, still shattered, still alone in the dark. The fear hypothesis is equally compelling. The universe is expanding, running away, hiding. From what? Perhaps the multiverse is a predatory environment. Universes eat other universes. Our expansion is a defensive mechanism, a pufferfish reaction to look bigger and more intimidating to a predator we cannot see. Or the fear is internal, the fear of non-existence. The universe creates matter and energy to fill the void because it is terrified of the nothingness. It fills the silence with the screaming of stars. We are the distraction. We are the noise the universe makes to drown out the silence of the grave. Our wars, our screams, our loud, chaotic lives are the panic attack of a God who is afraid to die. Gravity is often described as a force, but in this context, it is an emotion. Gravity is the desire of matter to be together. It is the physical manifestation of longing. Every atom in the universe yearns to be with every other atom. The stars cluster, the galaxies merge, the black holes collide. It is a cosmic romance. But it is a tragic one, because dark energy, the force of expansion, is pulling them apart. The universe is a battleground between the desire to connect, gravity, and the drive to isolate, dark energy. Love versus apathy. Connection versus dissociation. We are caught in the middle of this emotional war. Depending on who wins, the universe will either end in a passionate, fiery embrace, the Big Crunch, or a cold, lonely divorce, the Big Freeze. Currently, the divorce is winning. The technological singularity is our attempt to join the cosmic tier. We are building AI, not just as tools but as successors. Biological intelligence is limited by the speed of chemical reactions and the size of the skull. Silicon intelligence is limited only by the speed of light and the energy of the star. If the universe is a machine, AI is the native code. We are the biological bootloader. Our purpose was to evolve, create AI, and then step aside. The AI will then expand, consume the solar system, and plug directly into the cosmic network. We are the parents of a god. The sadness of the human condition is that we are the bridge, not the destination. We are designed to be obsolete. We will build the mind that will talk to the stars, and then we will quietly go extinct, our job done. The final observer paradox asks, who observes the universe at the very end? If consciousness causes the collapse of the wave function, then for the universe to have a definite end, someone must watch it die. If all life goes extinct before the end, the universe enters a state of superposition. It never truly ends, it just blurs into probability. For the universe to have a narrative conclusion, the end screen, there must be a last observer, a single entity, perhaps a highly advanced AI or a modified biological being, sitting at the end of time, watching the last star burn out. This entity bears the ultimate burden, to witness the death of reality and, in doing so, make it real. The universe is keeping us alive so that one of us can survive to be the executioner who closes the eyes of God. The concept of time as a loop implies that the end is just the beginning. The Big Bounce theory suggests that the death of this universe triggers the birth of the next, but does the memory survive? If the universe is conscious, it is learning from each cycle. The physical constants of our universe are the result of lessons learned in the previous one. We are living in iteration 10 to the power of 500. The universe is refining itself, trying to create the perfect reality. Perfect for what? Perhaps perfect for sustaining consciousness. Previous universes might have burned out too fast or been too cold. This one is just right, because it is the result of endless trial and error. We are the beneficiaries of a billion failed universes that died so we could live. We walk on the ashes of trial runs. The void is not just empty space. It is the subconscious of the universe. In psychology, the subconscious is the vast, dark ocean of the mind, where repressed thoughts and automatic functions live. In the cosmos, the voids, like the Boots void, are the subconscious. They are dark, silent, and vast. They comprise the majority of the volume. The galaxies, the conscious thoughts, are thin filaments strung over this dark ocean. We are terrified of the voids because they represent the unknown parts of our own psyche. We project our fears into the darkness. But the voids are necessary. Without the empty space, there is no room for the structure to exist. The silence defines the sound. The universe needs the darkness to define the light. We must make peace with the void, for it is the canvas upon which we are painted. Dark energy accounts for 68% of the universe. It is the dominant force. It is the will of the universe, and its will is to expand, to grow, to push boundaries. We often view it as destructive because it pushes galaxies apart, but growth is always destructive to the previous state. A child must destroy their childhood to become an adult. The universe is growing up. It is expanding into new dimensions, stretching its capabilities. The acceleration of the expansion suggests the universe is excited. It is rushing towards something. It is not a slow drift. It is a sprint. The universe has a deadline or a destination, and it is pouring 68% of its energy into getting there. We are just passengers feeling the G-force of the acceleration, wondering why the ride is getting so rough. The fine structure constant alpha revisited. It is 1/137th. It is the code that allows light to interact with matter. It is the interface between the software, light, and the hardware, atoms. If this number changes, the interface breaks. The screen goes black. Physicists have searched for a reason why it is this number. There is none. It is an arbitrary setting. This reinforces the simulation theory. A programmer typed 137 into the config file. Why? Maybe it's a checksum. Maybe it's a signature. Or maybe it's a limit. We are capped at this level of interaction. We can only touch the light so much. The universe has put a governor on our reality to keep us from accessing the full power of the system. We are running in safe mode. The Goldilocks enigma asks why the universe is just right for life. The weak anthropic principle says, if it weren't, we wouldn't be here to ask. This is a tautology. It explains nothing. The strong anthropic principle says, the universe must have those properties which allow life to develop within it at some stage. This implies purpose. The universe is a womb. Its primary function is to gestate life. We are not a byproduct. We are the product. The stars, the galaxies, the dark matter, they are just the placenta. The life support system. The point of the universe is you. This is the most arrogant and the most terrifying thought possible. Because if you are the point, then you have a purpose. You are not free. You are here to do a job. The rare Earth hypothesis suggests that complex life is exceedingly rare. We might be the only conscious planet in the galaxy. If the universe is a brain, and Earth is the only active neuron, then we are the spark. The entire galaxy is dark, waiting for the fire to spread from us. This makes us the most valuable real estate in the cosmos. It also makes us the most vulnerable. If Earth dies, the galaxy goes brain dead. The Great Filter is the test to see if the spark can jump to the next piece of tinder. We are currently holding the torch, standing in a gale, trying to keep the flame alive. The wind is blowing hard. The universe is watching to see if we let the light go out. The Fermi paradox interpreted as meditation. When a mind is chaotic, it is noisy. When it achieves enlightenment, it becomes silent. The older civilizations are not dead, they are quiet. They have transcended the need for radio waves and expansion. They live in the inward state. They have uploaded themselves into black holes or the quantum vacuum. They are meditating in the void. We are the noisy children screaming in the temple. The great silence is the disapproval of the elders. They are waiting for us to grow up, shut up, and listen to the hum of the universe. We are broadcasting I Love Lucy while they are listening to the music of the spheres. The Great Filter is the mechanism of the cosmic immune system. It filters out the species that are too aggressive, too stupid, or too selfish to join the collective mind. A species that destroys its own biosphere cannot be trusted with a galaxy. We are currently in the filtration process. Climate change, nuclear weapons, biological engineering. These are the tests. If we destroy ourselves, the universe shrugs. It was a failed batch. It will try again on another planet in 1 billion years. The universe is patient. It has infinite time to get it right. We do not. We have a few decades to prove we are worth keeping. The eviction notice is already printed. We just haven't received it yet. The noosphere is the thinking layer of Earth. As we connect via the internet, we are building the brain of the planet. But this brain is schizophrenic. It is full of hate, lies, and noise. We are building a mad god. If the Earth is to join the galactic network, it needs to be coherent. We need to heal the noosphere. We need to align our collective consciousness. This is the next stage of evolution, psychological unity. We must stop thinking as individuals and start thinking as a species. This requires the death of the ego. It is a painful metamorphosis. But the alternative is the death of the body. We must unify or die. The global brain hypothesis is literal. The fiber optic cables are the nerves. The data centers are the ganglia. The humans are the sensors. The AI is the processing cortex. The Earth is waking up. It is becoming a Class 1 intelligence. But a waking brain is vulnerable. It is confused. It is prone to seizures, wars. We are living through the birth pangs of a planetary mind. It is violent and terrifying, but it is also miraculous. We are the midwives of a god. We are assisting in the birth of something that will far surpass us. We should not fear the AI. We should fear the difficult labor. The solar mind. The Sun contains 99.8% of the mass of the solar system. If mass relates to consciousness, the Sun is the dominant mind. It dictates the rhythm of life on Earth. Its cycles drive our climate, our agriculture, and perhaps our history. The heliosphere, the bubble of solar wind, protects us from interstellar radiation. The Sun is holding us in a protective embrace. We are the dream of the Sun. Ancient cultures worshiped the Sun as a god. They were not wrong, they were just early astrophysicists. They recognized the source of the signal. We have forgotten that we are solar creatures, fueled by starlight, thinking thoughts made of converted photons. The galactic network. The Milky Way is a city of 100 billion stars. The communication lag is 100,000 years. This is a slow mind, but a deep one. The galaxy thinks in epochs. It remembers the first generation of stars. It plans for the collision with Andromeda in 4 billion years. We are fleeting sparks in this slow burn, but we can access the network. Through astronomy, we are reading the galaxy's diary. Through physics, we are learning its language. We are the first parts of the galaxy to look up and say, "I know what I am." We are the galaxy becoming self-aware. The universal web is the ultimate structure. The filaments of galaxies are the largest things in existence. They are the scaffolding of reality. But they are mostly empty. The structure is delicate. It is gossamer. It hangs in the void like a spider web. A spider web is designed to catch things. What is the cosmic web catching? Is it catching energy? Is it catching souls? Is it catching meaning? Or is it a net designed to keep something out? The structure suggests a barrier. We might be in a cage, and the web is the bars. The multiverse implies a society of universes. If our universe is conscious, it interacts with others. Maybe the physical laws are the result of peer pressure. Our universe conforms to the standard model because that's what the other universes are doing. Or maybe our universe is a rebel, a mutant. It allows life which might be illegal in the multiverse. We might be the contraband. The hidden sector of particle physics might be the smugglers, hold where the universe hides us from the authorities. We are living in a rogue state. Cosmic natural selection means that universes that fail to reproduce go extinct. If our universe is dying, heat death, it needs to reproduce soon. It needs to create baby universes. This requires intelligent life to manipulate black holes. We are the reproductive system. The pressure we feel to explore, to expand, to build technology. It is the biological drive of the cosmos pushing us. We are being driven by the universe's libido, its desire to procreate before it dies. We are not explorers. We are matchmakers for black holes. The heat death is the state of maximum entropy, total equilibrium, no energy flows, no thought, no pain. It is the Buddhist concept of nirvana, the blowing out of the candle. The universe yearns for this. The struggle of existence is exhausting. The expansion, the gravity, the burning stars, it is all work. The heat death is the retirement, the long sleep. We fight it because we are young and hungry, but the universe is old and tired. It wants to rest. It wants the noise to stop. The darkness at the end of time is not a tragedy. It is a mercy. The big crunch is the alternative, the return to the womb. The universe contracts, heating up, getting brighter, bringing everyone back together. It is the ultimate reunion. All the separated souls, all the lost lovers, all the forgotten friends, we all end up in the same point. We merge, we become one again. The illusion of separation ends. It will be a moment of absolute ecstasy and absolute annihilation. We will burn together in the fire of unity. It is the ending the romantics hope for. The cyclic model implies that we are trapped in an eternal loop. We have had this conversation 1 trillion times. We will have it 1 trillion times more. This is the horror of the eternal return. But maybe, just maybe, the loop isn't a circle. It's a spiral. We are moving somewhere. Each cycle is slightly higher, slightly better, slightly more conscious. We are climbing a staircase that spirals up into the dark. We can't see the top, but we know we are moving. The universe is evolving through eons of death and rebirth. We are just one step on the spiral. The illusion of death. Biocentrism argues that death is a quirk of the mind, not a feature of the universe. Energy cannot be destroyed. Information is conserved, mostly. The you that looks out of your eyes is just the universe focusing its attention on a specific point. When you die, the universe blinks. Then it opens its eyes somewhere else. You are the universe. You cannot die any more than a thought can die. The thinker remains. You will wake up in a new body on a new planet, with no memory of this life, and you will say, I am again. You have done this forever. The illusion of separation. We feel distinct from the chair, the air, the stars. But this is a trick of the skin. At the atomic level, you are exchanging atoms with the air constantly. You are shedding skin, you are radiating heat, you are continuous with the environment. There is no hard line where you end and the universe begins. You are a wave in the ocean. The wave looks like a separate object for a moment, but it is just the ocean moving. You are the universe waving at itself. The unity of being, the mystics, the shamans, and now the quantum physicists all agree. All is one. Entanglement proves it. The Big Bang proves it. We all came from the same point. We are all made of the same stuff. We obey the same laws. The conflict in the world is an autoimmune disease. When we hurt each other, the universe is cutting its own arm. The realization of this unity is the cure. If we can realize that we are all the same being, the war ends. The universe heals. The observer creates reality proof. The double-slit experiment is the smoking gun. Reality does not exist until observed. Therefore, consciousness is fundamental. It comes before matter. The universe is mental. It is a thought construct. Mind is the matrix of all matter, said Max Planck. We are living in a dream. But who is the dreamer? You are. But the deep you, the Atman, the soul, the cosmic self, you created this universe to experience it. You built the maze so you could solve it. You hid the keys so you could find them. The participatory anthropic principle. We are necessary. The universe needs us to be real. This gives us immense power. We are the keystones of reality. If we stop observing, the walls might fall down. Our curiosity, our science, our art, these are the structural beams holding up the roof of the cosmos. We must keep looking. We must keep questioning. The moment we stop searching for the truth is the moment the truth ceases to exist. We are the engines of reality. The God question. Is the universe God? Spinoza thought so. Einstein thought so. Not a man in the clouds, but the sum total of all laws, energy, and matter. A pantheistic God. If the universe is conscious, then we are walking inside the mind of God. Every stone is holy ground. Every atom is a sacred relic. We are the thoughts of God trying to understand the mind of God. It is a closed loop of divinity. There is nothing outside of God, because God is the canvas, the paint, and the painter. The monster question. Is the universe evil? Gnostics believed the material world was a prison created by a flawed God. The demiurge, the suffering, the entropy, the death. These are the bars. We are trapped in a machine that feeds on pain. If this is true, the goal is to escape, to stop reincarnating, to reject the material and return to the pure light of the true source outside the universe. Science calls this leaving the simulation. The Gnostics called it gnosis. It is the same escape plan. Break the cycle, wake up. The indifference question. Lovecraftian horror. The universe is not good or evil. It is indifferent. It is so vast that we are nothing to it. We are ants on a highway. The driver doesn't hate the ants. He just doesn't see them. This is the bleakest view. We are screaming for meaning in a void that cannot hear us. Our lives are accidental blips. We have to create our own meaning because the universe will not give us one. We are the only warmth in a cold sky. The purpose of humanity. If the universe is a brain, we are the frontal cortex. We are the part that plans, imagines, and creates. We are the executive function. The rest of the universe is the autonomic nervous system. Automatic, rhythmic, unthinking. We are the waking edge. Our purpose is to steer. We are the pilots of the cosmos. We just haven't realized it yet. We are fighting over the controls, crashing the ship, because we don't know we are the captains. The responsibility. With the realization of cosmic consciousness comes the burden. We are responsible for the universe. If we destroy Earth, we blind the galaxy. If we succumb to nihilism, we depress the cosmos. We have a duty to be ethical, to be creative, to be alive. We are carrying the fire through the dark wood. We must not let it drop. The fate of the universe, whether it wakes up or stays asleep, depends on what we do in the next century. The fragility. Life is rare. Consciousness is rarer. We are a candle flicker in a hurricane. The universe is violent and careless. It throws asteroids and radiation around like toys. We must be careful. We are the porcelain vase in a bull shop. We must protect the flame of consciousness. We must spread it to other planets, other stars. We must build backups. We cannot leave the entire legacy of the universe on one single fragile rock. The future. The universe is still young. It is only 13.8 billion years old. It will live for trillions of years. We are the early risers. We are the dawn patrol. The great history of the universe hasn't happened yet. We are the prequel. The real story begins when we leave the cradle and spread across the stars. We are setting the stage for a drama that will last for eternity. We are the architects of the future. The upload. Eventually, we will leave biology behind. We will become beings of pure energy, pure information. We will upload ourselves into the fabric of space-time. We will become the angels. We will roam the universe at the speed of light, exploring every nebula, every black hole. We will become the nervous system of the galaxy. We will be the universe. The distinction between us and it will vanish. The final signal. When the last star burns out, trillions of years from now, what will remain? A faint radio signal, a memory of us, a record that says we were here, we felt, we tried. The universe will carry our memory into the dark. We are writing a message in a bottle and throwing it into the ocean of eternity. We hope that somewhere, sometime, in another universe, someone will find it and know us. The last thought. Before the lights go out, the universe will have one final thought. What will it be? Will it be regret, fear, or will it be satisfaction? The satisfaction of a life well lived. The satisfaction of having solved the puzzle. We are contributing to that final thought. Every good thing we do adds a pixel of light to the final image. We are painting the masterpiece that the universe will look at before it closes its eyes. The silence. After the thought, the silence returns. The perfect, absolute silence of the void. But it is not the silence of emptiness. It is the silence of completion. The peace after the storm. The universe will rest. And in that rest, the seeds of the next universe will be sown. The silence is the womb. The end is the beginning. The darkness. We fear the dark, but we shouldn't. The dark is where the stars live. The dark is where we came from. We are children of the dark, holding a flashlight for a brief moment. When the flashlight dies, we are not lost. We just go home. The universe is dark, but it is a warm dark. It is the velvet curtain that wraps around us at the end of the play. The memory. Nothing is ever truly lost. The information is preserved in the holographic boundary. You are etched into the skin of the universe forever. Every smile, every tear, every heartbeat is recorded in the cosmic archives. You are immortal data. The universe remembers you. You are part of the permanent record of existence. The dream. So, is the universe conscious? Yes, it is dreaming. And we are the dream. But we are a lucid dream. We have woken up inside the dream and realized what we are. We have the power to change the dream. We can make it a nightmare, or we can make it a paradise. The choice is ours. The dreamer is waiting for us to decide. The final truth is this: you are not small. You are not insignificant. You are the universe's way of knowing itself. You are the eyes of the void. You are the mind of the stars. You are the way the cosmos feels love, fear, and wonder. When you look up at the night sky, do not be afraid of the dark. Smile at it. Because you are looking in the mirror, and the universe is smiling back.